This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Wasn't really a robot. Not a robot that time, not a robot. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? The steroids seem to help my toe out a little bit. Kind of sucks to have to take steroids to help a toe. Well, it's really more like the whole foot. But. Yeah, we know, Miss CD. Thanks for stepping on the story. Awesome, thanks. The classic. Hey, thanks, Jess Trombley. Always so supportive. Thank you so much. Yeah, I bet it's not a, it's actually gout, so it's sort of a systemic thing, so a shot wouldn't do anything. Yeah, it definitely made a difference in the whole foot, so. Yep, ate too much shrimp again over time. I just kept, thinking if I spread it out over time, but no, that's not how it works. I hate the term gout. It sounds like it's some sort of weird fungus or something, but it's just crystals that form inside your joint. Yeah, no, but that's not what the it's more just for an isolated spot. It's in my entire foot, but yeah. Well, because it would be, you would take allopurinol. I don't know what you're saying by colchicine. Yeah, allopurinol is the drug that you take to avoid getting it. So anyways, all right, everybody, who cares about that shit? So anyway, there was a show last night that the interview room did, and I felt like I had to address something that they did. I had messaged Chasing Truth about it last night, and then she made a little short video today on it, but I was I think it was some of the most irresponsible shit I've ever seen. Okay, and I don't think it's acceptable. It's the same kind of bullshit that you see in other cases like Kanika Jenkins or other, where you put out an image that's been doctored and you pretend it's indication of something. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this really quick. It's pure insanity. So here's the image that Chris McDonough put on the screen. Of course, he threw out the, well, if it's doctored, whoever did it they should be kicked off of YouTube. Well, you put it out there. So what you should have done, Chris McDonough, is before putting it out there, you verify if it's real or not. So he puts this image out here and says, look at that, looks like hematomas and all that. I don't know if it's real or not, but here it is, and it's indication of child abuse and doing all this. He goes on and on with the little caveat that it's somebody else's fault. Okay, you guys watch my channel. I never put shit like this out. I debunk shit like this. So, you know, a lot of the other stuff you do is great and everything, but it was very irresponsible of you to put this out and pretend that it was reasonable. Let me show you the real picture here. Watch this. See that? You know where that came from? And this is what's spooky about it. This is the real image. Wow, no hematomas, anybody? Nothing at all. Just an absolutely normal picture. But what's really crazy about it is that whoever he got the image from to put on his show literally photoshopped this bag out. Now, let me show you this right here really quick. Watch this. I'm going to show you that it's the same image. So here's like a little zoomed in shot. Let me zoom in on that. You see right there that little purple and the white and a little bit like, right? You guys can see that, right? Well, here's the shot that he used, zoomed in on the same spot. So there it is, the purple, the little, but it's been darkened with contrast, so that pink is darker. So it's the same shot. It's just rotated a little bit. But see that right there? Does anybody question that that's the same shot? Look at this. Look, that's there. This, boom, boom, boom. Everything's there. But look at that. The bag was photoshopped out of it. So he's using a ridiculous image to sell a narrative. He should never have put that on his show, but he doesn't care about it being factual. It's to sell a story. Oh, but if it's not true, whoever, look at to say this out loud. Let me just say this right here. To say this out loud right here, listen to this. Oh yeah, well, if this isn't true, whoever put it out there should be off of YouTube. Well, you put it out there though, okay? You took it and then put it on your show as if it was real. Okay, I don't understand how that's reasonable. Anybody who saw that should have went, wow, that is disgusting. Okay, so here we go. They photoshopped the bag out right here, and you've got this. Hold on one second. I got to read something. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the original again. And look at how just absolutely she's happy, holding a little bag here, and there's nothing going on. But see, he didn't take the time to go out and find the original image so that he wouldn't put something like that out there. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that I think is very irresponsible. He should retract the entire video or remove that portion, the entire part that was using the images. There's another video out there that was put out on other channels that is of the milk jug image, and they did the same thing to it. They darkened it up with contrast to make it look like there's bruising, and there is none. There's a little tiny nick on her, like right here, or wherever it was. I can't remember where it was, maybe on her forehead or something. Tiny little nick. And then they took all the shadows and turned it into just a really bruised face, and it was bogus. So I kind of know where he got it from. There's a couple channels that are irresponsible YouTubers that just put out whatever garbage they want, and so he got it from one of them. And that's the sad part, is like he didn't even try to figure it out. It's just, ooh, look at this image. Okay, I think that is disgusting, and it's shameful to do. I have never done anything like that. 100%
agree with Gray
on my show. All right. So hey, thank you, Cassandra and Allie Cake. Appreciate it. And all of you out there should realize that that's really bogus, and know that that's something he did. Don't sit there and go, oh well, he did do a disclaimer. No, he put it out there, knowing that it's possible it wasn't true. He didn't even try to figure it out. Okay, you guys. So just look at it like that. That's all I'm going to say. I think it was very irresponsible to do that, and now we're starting to see a pattern. Okay, starting to see a pattern here. Okay, just like he says all the time. It's looking like a $50 bingo card, if you ask me. Let's see. It's just ridiculous. God, I can't. I'm so angry that he would do that. That's exactly the crap that I had to debunk during the Delphi case. Watch it. Watch this. He'll start doing the Delphi case soon. Just mark my words. He only does the big cases. He's going to do the Delphi case soon. And he'll look at all. Ooh, do you see that little figure at the end of the bridge? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Because he won't take the time to know that none of that stuff is real. Okay? Yeah. So there you go, everybody. That is all I have to say on that. Tomorrow, on So Mean, we're probably going to go over and discuss the whole show, just going over, things that we didn't, that we don't agree with that whole show that was done, though. Different timeline issues that he was talking about and so forth. But this part here is what I felt like needed to be thoroughly debunked, and it is irresponsible to have put out this other version of the image just to sell a story. Okay, this one, right? Where the hell is it? Yeah, it was dark. I got it right here. Hold on. Fucking frustrating. So this one right here. Imagine this. Somebody literally took the bag out here. Why would you do that? God, unreal. Photoshop the bag out from the shot. Now you might think, well, how do you know that's the same shot, Gray? Well, it is, because you can compare. Look at everything in it. Look at the hair, that little right there, that little part that comes down, boom, boom. But you can even see the darkness there, but that's actually just, there's little shadows that exist in the world, everybody. It's really weird. Do you think they'd be taking a picture of her with a big bruised up face? Yeah. And then it's especially, look at right here again. Let me narrow this in for you guys a little bit. Watch this. Look at right there. Bang. Even that little line right there. It's right there. It's exactly the same. A little bit different right over here. Could have been like a quick shot, but see this little white part of the beach there? That's a little bit less from the ear there, but that right there is exactly right there, and there is no bruising on her face. Okay, everything's the same. Now the way you do something like that is you open up here, I'll show you what they do, because it just makes it so much more interesting and cool. Hey, thanks, Kit. I don't know why you guys accept stuff like that. When I say you guys, I mean the people that go, well, it doesn't matter. He's still... No, it matters a lot, because it shows what somebody's willing to do to keep a story going. None of the images with the bruising on her face are accurate images. I've seen them all, and I've seen the original, and they're all bogus. Every one of them. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean I love Don Wells. Gray's he loved Don Wells. No, I think Don Wells is not a good person. I think he's a shitty person. I think he could still have something to do with the reason, as I've said a million times, that she is... I don't know what his deal is, but he could have something to do with why she is missing. Okay, I've said that 1,000 times. I just don't know. Nobody knows, None of us actually have the information. Okay, but tomorrow we're just going to go over the text of some of the text in that last night's show on the interview room, just to go over, because there's some stuff that he seemed really confused on, that he just got completely backwards from how it really is. So I don't know what's going on there, but we're just going to discuss it, or other rational ways to look at the exact same situation. That makes sense? So that might be in my morning, but 1 or 2 o'clock on the East Coast tomorrow. How's that sound? Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm just going to open up the same image. All right. Oh, and we made some emojis for the that other channel for so mean, allegedly. Just a second, though. Hey, thank you, Angela Vincent. Yeah, I don't know if he is. My main theory is that something happened to her and she was removed from the property. The next one involves Dawn somehow has something to do with it. You know, I don't know. Okay? Then there's a small chance that she was abducted. Like 20%. Alright, so here's the original image, right? So watch what you do here. You just go, hey, you guys, look at. See how it's a little, there's some shading there? Let's really make that pop. Okay, so then you go, sometimes you can hit like, let me undo that one. You go image, adjustment, and then brightness and contrast. All right, so then you go like this. Ooh, there we go. Oh man. There we go. Now let's do it again. Maybe do some more brightness and contrast here. Oh my God, look at that, you guys. Wow. You see that? And then you can do, there's other stuff that they were doing. They obviously went in and clipped this part out right here. All kinds of stuff. Of course, you can do it differently where you keep the tones a little lighter than that. Yeah, I'm just debunking. If you think that putting that image out, knowing that there's a chance that it's not legit, who would do that was ethical? Anybody? You know, I've actually made mistakes in videos that I've made. Not like that, but I've made mistakes in videos. You know what I've done? I just go right over and delete the video. And then I fix the error and upload it again. But that's not what's going to happen here. I guarantee it, that will not be touched. It'll be sitting there. It's called integrity. I don't know who's the original, but it was used on the interview room last night as a potentially showing bruising. You know, and of course, well, I mean, he said, this could be a fake image, though. Well, then why would you even attempt to put it there? Go verify it first. Get all of your multiple number of sleuths that you got. Have them get the original image and compare it and look at it and go, oh, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. Doesn't that make sense, everybody? It should. It should make sense. All right. All right. Anyways, that's that. And let me close these down. So this is the image he was showing people. Look how dark that looked. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. And then there's this over here. It's just pure insanity. It was based off of this image right here. Or at least an image taken right at the exact moment. Maybe she just slightly turned, you know. Yeah. And I'm just telling you the reality of it. You know, he's done a lot of good stuff, like the interviews with Candace and all that stuff. But you can't do stuff like that. That's not true crime. That's bullshit crime right there. That's not what you do. All right. And by the way, I was going to show you guys this. Now, let me show you this really quick. I recorded... I was going to show this at the beginning, but I forgot. So now I'm going to do it now. Okay? So this is Blue and Chloe, but there's this weird moment in there with them. Look how weird this is. Watch. Plus my wife's making weird noises, so... She's going, whoa! Oh yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Look how Chloe only goes after his ear. She doesn't even care about the damn toy. Let's just rip his ear off. Look at. She doesn't care about the toy. And then I just noticed right over here we've got from our air conditioner made it. We used to have one, and there was something on front of that recently, and we didn't see that. So we're gonna have to like paint that damn thing. But anyways. Come on, you gotta admit, like these are. Yes, Chloe's nuts. Look at her. She just goes at his ear. And then the TV's on in the background. But look at, there's this really crazy moment here in a second, though. Watch how weird this is. Watch. Watch how crazy this moment is coming up here. Watch. It's like a pure love for about 3 seconds. It's like this pure love moment between them.
On that number, are we still looking at 300? What do you think about? Is it down to 150? Is it down to 0? Absolutely. Well, I know my State Department colleagues will have a more specific, up-to-date number, but let me give you an update of where things stand at this point. Of those who self-identified as Americans and Afghanistan considering leaving.
Look how weird this shit is. What's going on? Here, watch this though. Watch this one. Right here, look.
This number will likely continue.
What is that? What was that right there, everybody? Seriously, what the hell was that? I gotta make that into an emoji or something. Come on. Honest to God, what was that thing? What they just did there? That looked like humans or something. Look at this.
This number will likely continue to grow as our outreach.
And Blue's like, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. I know, it was like a legitimate hug. It wasn't like a fake hug or anything. That was legitimately, I mean, I gotta see that again. It's so weird.
Up-to-date number, but let me give you an update of where things stand at this point. Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan considering leaving the country since August 14th, we have thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed. This number will continue to grow as our outreach and arrivals have
I don't know what that was, man.
As you know,
72! Wait, thanks. Emily Flotilla. Blue's like 7 or 8, and she's 1.5, 2 maybe.
So as we conveyed at the time, we knew that there could be an option, one, that people who had registered had already departed, or that people who had registered had not deregistered, or that there would be additional people who came.
I was recording the TV too. Thank you.
72? How old are they?
I think Blue's like 7 or 8, and she's, almost maybe 1.5 or something. But look how they just kind of lay down here in a minute too. It's weird. Wait, hold on. Oh, I guess I don't have that on there. But they just sort of end up just kind of, and they just start looking off at the. I just got to see that part one more time. It's just so. I got to make an emoji over this, don't you think? Like a super chat where this happens.
This number will likely continue to grow.
I don't know, man. That was just a little too human for me. That's all I can say. Way too human. All right, so there. Let me get this other information out right now. Thank you, Emily Flotilla and Angela Vincent and Attacor 21. Oh yeah, maybe there it is. No, it's not there. Right. So don't allow people to put out those images like that. Like, don't trust. I mean, the sad part is when somebody has, quote, credibility, and they put something like that out, people go, oh my God. Like, go look at the chat comments. They're probably like, oh my God, I've got chills. I'm crying right now looking at that image. Okay? It just makes people have unneeded emotions about nothing because they trust the person putting it out there and therefore believe it. You guys get that?
Dogs are nicer than humans.
Probably. Thanks, stop it. Stop it right now. Yeah, they want to believe it, but they also believe it because it's put out by somebody with, quote, credibility. I thought it was really just so irresponsible. It's hard to believe that somebody would do that in his position. Oh well, seems like a good guy though. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw out this other article first. I can't do it that way. So in Crystal Rogers' case today, the FBI uncovers multiple items. So this is probably what Zozo was talking about. I bet you they did find a skeleton now, and they found bones, and the FBI is now analyzing them, probably doing DNA tests on them as we speak. It'd be a weird place to cover up weapons and so forth. Those can go anywhere, but you put a body underneath something that's going to be there for years and years and years and decades, and deep in the ground too. So even if the driveway was going to be replaced at some point, nobody would have looked that deep underground, right? No, you're right, Alicia. That's the thing is I just want to know what happened in the case, and by putting things together, you can come up with what's most likely. None of us have a really good chance of actually finding her, but we can, cover it and try to come up with the most likely scenario. Okay, but let me get back to this one. In the 7th day of their search of a Bardstown neighborhood in the case of Crystal Rogers' disappearance, FBI agents announced Monday that multiple items of interest had been uncovered during its investigations so far. In a social media post, and that means they were all found probably underneath the driveway and through their digging. But let's see. In a social media post, FBI Louisville said the items are potentially relevant. Meaning, if those are her bones, maybe? I don't know. Who knows? It could be something totally different. Who was presumed dead 6 years after her car was found along the Bluegrass Parkway with her phone, purse, and keys inside.
FBI says it has found multiple items of interest in its investigation into the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. As WDRB's Monica Harkins explains, this comes as agents are back out in a Bardstown neighborhood. Monica?
It's the 7th day in a row that FBI has been in the Woodlawn Springs neighborhood here in Bardstown, and the newest information released just this afternoon shows that those multiple items of interest could be potentially relevant to this case. Of course, we first heard about those items of interest earlier this week, but for most of this day today, it was relatively quiet until around 5:15 when trucks that were seemingly on standby drove out of the neighborhood, and it was right around then the FBI confirming on Twitter it's pausing for bad weather and releasing that latest information. The FBI started investigating here Tuesday of last week, and we're seeing digging concrete and mounds of dirt for the majority of that week. Yeah. Some homes in the neighborhood were being built around the time Rogers disappeared 6 years ago, and some are connected to the company of Rogers' boyfriend at the time, Brooks Houck. He's the only named suspect in the case, but hasn't faced charges. Friday is when the FBI first announced there was an item of interest discovered. And this weekend, the FBI reiterating there's a $25,000 reward if you share a tip that leads to the closing of this case. Now, as far as those items of interest, as you notice, potentially relevant, it's going to send those items off to Quantico for further forensic analysis. If you need more background on this case, we have everything you need to know on our website, WDRB.com. Live in Bardstown, Monica Harkins, WDRB News.
Yeah, well, there you go. As the weather is expected to deteriorate over the next couple of days, this is FBI Louisville, there will be suspensions of operations in our ongoing search in the Woodlawn Springs subdivision. See, there might be places, parts or whatever, items placed under all three of the homes that he had built during that time. It might not just be one of them. Initial analysis shows there are potentially relevant... during the course of our search thus far, multiple items of interest have been uncovered. Initial analysis shows they are potentially relevant. So probably bone fragments or something. In the investigation into the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, the items have been sent to the FBI laboratory in Quantico. So they're probably going to determine if they're human bone, and then they're going to have to do. It's not really difficult, especially not being that old. But if they were, let's say they were charred remains put in there, that might make it a little more difficult. But you can extract DNA from bone. So. You wouldn't even need a full match. You could just get a partial match and say, oh, look at that. What are the odds that that's somebody else? Like, let's say it was 1 in 100,000 people have those markers that we were able to find, and it matched the markers exactly of Crystal Rogers, and the bones were found in a driveway the main suspect had put in. Okay, so at that point, if you're on a jury and would say, well, if that makes 1 in 100,000, that means there's 2 million people on Earth that could have had it, so I'm going to have to say no. Really? Okay, well, how about this? There aren't 100,000 people in the town that she lived. Well, that's a good point, but I'm not going to stick with that one. Hey, thanks, Nicole Wilson. Hi, Grand Fix. I missed last night. I was listening to the hurricane news. Yeah. Well, it wasn't it turned out as bad, but it didn't turn out as bad as it could have been, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So that's it on that. I'm not going to just keep talking about it.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Hi Gray and Freaks. I missed last night as I was listening to the hurricane news. Love you all.
I hope you're safe out there. Still pretty crappy. I mean, it was brutal. So there's the update on that. On Rachel DelTondo. It's from about 2 weeks ago, but I didn't see it. Somebody sent this to me in an email. So the attorneys representing CBS News 48 Hours have succeeded in gaining access to some of the evidence presented by the prosecutor in the murder trial of Sheldon Jeter Jr. So this is the one that he was charged with, but I think they're looking to see if there's any relationship to DelTondo. Beaver County has been working with CBS News for an updated episode of 48 Hours about the May 2018 murder of Rachel DelTondo. So I guess 48 Hours will be having an update on Rachel DelTondo coming up. The case remains unsolved, although Jeter's attorneys have publicly acknowledged he is considered a suspect by investigators. Well, if he's a great suspect in the Rachel DelTondo case. If you remember, in the DelTondo case, he had been dating Rachel DelTondo a few years prior, and he was 17 years old. Rachel at the time was, in her 30s. They were found in a car. It was steamed up. A police officer came up to the vehicle, and found him in the car. They didn't create a police report, and then somebody called the tip into the police department, so then they created a police report after the fact. Then somebody got a hold of the police report and then sent it to all of Rachel DelTondo's work and friends and everybody. And that was probably somebody other than
Yes, now my
Derek Peter
extended
Jr.
family is evacuate South Lake Tahoe due to the fire. Sorry for interrupting again. Grimacing face.
Hey, listen. You can interrupt the show anytime you want with a cat eye donation. Okay, thank you. I mean, I could be right in the middle of... Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad everybody's safe out there. Let's see. Now, our donation night's tomorrow, everybody, so that's going to be it. Tomorrow night. We've already donated $2,000, and we did $500 last night again to, was it Texas EquiSearch, I think? And so that makes our grand total from January 2020 to now, a year and 8 months, $50,000 that this channel's donated from the revenue of the channel. Not like, hey, we're having a fundraiser, everybody. You go out and donate some money to here. We've got this thing. You know, we just do this every month. You guys are, like right now, look at Chrissy just sent some in. It just builds up, and at the end of the month, I donate like close to 40 to 50%, and then the rest of it goes to keeping me able to have a channel and justify doing 3-hour shows every single night of the week. And, you know, taking 3 or 4 hours getting ready
I'd
for
be
the
keeping
show.
an eye on the two losers for now. Thanks for the update, Gray. Love you, freaks.
I like that stomping taco. All right, Chrissy. Yeah. Anyways, and it's all because of you guys, right? And I feel so fortunate that I've actually, you know, have a bunch of people that want to support me and keep doing what we're doing. All right. And, you know, I'm sorry if people out there get offended when I go after something that I just feel is egregious like that. Putting out that photograph in that way is absolutely shameful. Okay. And I think everybody with a rational mind should realize that that's exactly what that is. It's not good. Even if you throw a disclaimer in there. Oh, wow. Thank you, Steph May. Wow, you got off of work, huh? She's the smallest train conductor in the history of the world. 5 foot, 100 pounds, and runs a locomotive train. How do you like that? That's pretty cool. Come on, there we go. That's right.
Finally off work and I catch a live.
They
Love me
yeah.
some Gray Hughes and freak. Family.
I don't know how they run now. Do they still do coal, like you throw coal into the engine? Maybe they save a few nuggets of coal. You being so light, you know, like if you weighed 200 pounds, you know, it'd be another 100 pounds. The train would have to. So it's all about the money. If they could get all people on that train to be your size, they'd save some money.
Ocean wave.
Yep, thank you, Chrissy. All right, what were we on here? Oh yeah, so we were on Rachel DelTondo, but anyways, the night Rachel DelTondo was killed. Oh my God, here we go. Oh, okay, just gasoline. Okay, so they are saving money on that. Thank you, Steph May. Practicing for tomorrow. That's so generous. One of these days we got to do the update on your story. Your brush with a serial killer. Thank you, Brandy Bradford.
Practicing for tomorrow night's donation night. No grey, no coal or steam engines anymore. Lol.
Oh, today's tomorrow?
Ocean wave.
Baked cake? Wow, today is tomorrow. That's really... I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone. Yeah. Are you buffering, Lee D? I think it's got an excellent connection right here. Yeah. Okay. So remember, there was Derek. No, not Derek. That's the baseball player, right? Yeah, Sheldon Jeter. Man, my brain just went. Yeah, so Sheldon Jeter is the 17-year-old, and you know, Rachel started dating his half brother during the 2 years or so after that, and he never liked that because Rachel was his girl, right? But the night that Rachel was killed, Rachel, the daughter of the sheriff who actually found her in the, or the sergeant that found her in the vehicle that was steamed up, and Tyree's, Tyree Jeter, I think is his name. But Sheldon's other brother, he had another brother. They all went out to get, so it was 3 people. It was, I need to get the chart out, but I don't really have time to go find it. Hey, thanks, Denise, not Dennis Smith. No, every single bit's the same.
I can't give $100, but thank you for being honorable, Gray.
Hey, it doesn't, look at it. If 20 people did 5, it's the same as 100, right? 5 is, it's all the same percentage comes out. I just look at the total at the end. Okay. So Sheldon Jeter Jr.'s Sheldon Jeter Jr. All these super chats have made my mouth not work. They, I'm like, what? His brother, Rachel DelTondo, and then the daughter of the sergeant who found her in the vehicle all those years before, were out getting frozen yogurt at, well, no, custard at Hank's Frozen Custard, I think is what it's called. And then, so while they're there, though, Sheldon Jeter texted his half-brother and said, I got left, didn't I? Yeah. And then he keeps saying, you know, they text back and forth, and then he texts back and says, you guys should be home by now. He's like tracking where they're at. And then they pull up to Rachel's home, and the girl drove the other brother back to his home, but she said, hey, why don't you get out of the car to Rachel, because she wanted to be with that other guy for a little bit. I don't know what the deal was there, and that she'd be back in 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But it was taking a little bit longer. But right after Rachel got out of the car, within 2 or 3 minutes, somebody came up to her and shot her 10 times. Well, that's an anger. Yeah, that's right, Lauren. That's right. That's the anger. An absolute anger killing. Somebody that knew her shot 10 times. And Sheldon was always one of the main suspects in that one. And then a year or 2 later, he kills somebody else with a pistol. So now he shows that he has the ability to do that. See what I'm saying? And so I think that's what 48 Hours is trying to do, an update on that. I think it shows that he very likely is the killer. He also changed his clothing. They saw him on surveillance camera at a Circle K just after Rachel and Lauren went in there, he was kind of following them around, and then they asked him to produce the clothes he was wearing that night, and he gave them different clothes than what he had on when he went in there. So there's a lot of stuff. They just probably just couldn't absolutely pin it on him. And when they arrested him, they actually went into his house and found a gun between the mattresses on this other murder that he did. But obviously, I don't know if they've been able to say that's the same caliber or to say that that's the same gun that killed Rachel. Just don't know. I don't even remember the names. We'll do another show one of these days on Rachel DelTondo. I'll have to pull out the org chart and everything. But the update was just that 48 hours was they got permission to have all of the records from the trial, the transcripts. They were given them. So I think they want that as part of the update. See if there's any correlations. Alright, so that's the update on Rachel DelTondo. Nothing earth-shattering, but... Then we have an update on this case. Remember the one that we talked about on here? I think it was just one night.
The body of a 21-year-old woman who has been missing for a month has been found near Brookshire.
Houston police are now putting out an urgent plea to the community to help locate her killer. ABC 13's Micah Hatfield's now standing by with more on who police are searching for. Mike.
Well, has been found near
Well, let me this is this case right here. Remember we had this guy, he was on, it was the sex worker, they got done dancing, and then they went over to an apartment complex. Two friends dropped her off, and they said they went to go get some makeup and then come back. You guys remember this one? Alright, so this case, they've made an arrest in this one. Now if you're not following my channel and you don't watch it very often, you're just out of luck. Okay. You got to figure out how to watch more, because I don't just cover one case, everybody. It's not just Summer Wells. There are other cases out there. Yeah, so they were a dancer. She was a dancer, and then I think they actually also were like call girls, for lack of a better term. They would get paid to not just the dancing part at the restaurant or establishment, but also for money would go to your house and whatever, right? Okay, so they went and explained the whole thing, and it turns out that there was a guy just lured him there. I mean, this is just right out of one of those nightmares.
A woman who has been missing for a month has been found near Brookshire.
Houston police are now putting out an urgent plea to the community to help locate her killer. ABC 13's Micah Hatfield's now standing by with more on who police are searching for. Mike.
Well, there is still a lot that Houston police investigators couldn't say in this case, but they did tell us that they are looking for 26-year-old Jordan Potts. He is charged with murder in the death of Shawtyeria Waits. Said to be dangerous, Houston police need your help to find this man, Jordan Potts. He's now charged with murder in Harris County, accused of killing Shawtyeria Waits on the night she was thought to have gone missing, July 25th, her 21st birthday. Investigators say they may have met online.
And this looks like a pattern with them communicating with females in this manner. So what I'd like to say is be careful who you deal with out there on social media, through dating apps.
Houston police say she was dropped off at the Villages at Meyerland Apartments to meet a man they believe to be Potts. An hour later, a friend couldn't get in touch with her, and she was reported missing 2 days later. The Missing Persons Division worked the case, and eventually homicide investigators. They say she was killed inside an apartment leased to Potts and transported in the trunk of his car. With the help of the FBI, police say they found remains believed to be...
What does this case sound like? I was about to say it sounds a lot like the one out of Boston area. You guys, anybody in there just quickly remember the name of that one? Remember the guy that met the girl at the bar, got her into his car, took her to her apartment, carried her body into the house, I mean, into the apartment, and then he went and bought some bleach and hacksaws and bodysuits, and then he decided, well, I'm not going to do that one. What's the name of that one? No, it wasn't Lewick. No. It was the one that the car is actually on Google Earth. We just went over it a little bit. If Claudia Neubauer was here, she'd remember. I wonder if it's still on my Google Earth map, where I don't have it hidden. Yeah, Jazzy Korea. I think that's it. Yeah. Let's see. I think. I don't know. I don't see that though. That sounds right though. What's the guy's name in that one? It's so similar. It's crazy. Nobody remembers, right? I don't think that's the right name anyways. I don't think you spelled it right anyway. No, it's not Smoker. Nope, not Joseph in case. Hold on. Oh wait, he was an employee at Raytheon, right? Raytheon killer. Raytheon employee. Okay. Just a second. No, that's not him. God, I guess you don't want to work at Raytheon. There's multiple killer. Coleman. There we go. Coleman. Lewis Coleman right here. And it is Korea, but it wasn't spelled right over there, I don't think. Maybe it was. Didn't show up though. Yeah. So this is where he lived, and he brought her body into his apartment complex, and then he kind of gave up, I think, on chopping her up into bits. So then he put her in a suitcase, put her in the trunk of his car, and then they arrested him hundreds of miles away driving. It was really absolutely crazy. But I think that's similar to what's going on in this one. It's almost identical, really.
And eventually, homicide investigators, they say she was killed inside an apartment leased to Potts and transported in the trunk of his car. With the help of the FBI, police say they found remains believed to be Waits on the side of I-10 near Brookshire, possibly killed by homicidal violence.
We believe that he may have cut his hair. He doesn't have a vehicle.
He's on the loose, this guy, by the way.
So he could be living in a park. He could be living in a homeless shelter. Or homeless camp, but we do need the public's help in locating him. We do consider him to be a dangerous individual.
Yeah, I would think so.
And police do believe that Potts is on the run. They tell us he is not at home where they would expect him to be. They say he does have ties to Oregon and also to Montana.
Oregon. Ooh.
Live in Meyerland, Micah Hatfield, ABC.
Okay, I think I'm done talking about it. Thank you.
13 Eyewitness News.
Wow. That was a little bit creepy. I'm just gonna find her. I'm gonna.
The body of a 21-year-old woman who has been missing for a month has been found near Brookshire.
Houston police are now putting out an urgent plea to the community to help locate her killer. ABC 13's Micah Hatfield's now standing by with more on who police are searching for. Mike.
Well, there is still a lot that Houston police investigators couldn't say in this case, but they did tell us that they are looking for 26-year-old Jordan Potts.
Okay, so I have the press conference. It's a really short one. It's only...
Locked and windows grey.
It's only maybe 4 minutes.
Good reason to believe and do believe that she was murdered on that same night, and her body was transported out to the Brookshire area where her remains were left. A 26-year-old male named Jordan Potts has been charged with her murder. He is currently at large, and we are asking for the public's help to find him. You'll see photographs of him on the front of the podium here. We do not have any indication of his whereabouts right now, but he is currently wanted for murder out of the 338th District Court of Harris County. We believe that he may have cut his hair. He doesn't have a vehicle or any means of communication, so he could be living in a park, he could be living in a homeless shelter or homeless camp. But we do need the public's help in locating him. We do consider him to be a dangerous individual. And just to give you a little rundown of the investigation, on that Sunday, July 25th, Shawtyeria was dropped off by a couple of friends at the apartment complex there, the Villages of Meyerland Apartments at 8950 Chimney Rock Road. She was supposed to meet a male there that we believe was Jordan Potts. After an hour or so, her friend tried to contact her and was unable to contact her. And unfortunately, she wasn't reported missing until 2 days later, where our Missing Persons Division began working the investigation. There was quite a bit of media attention at the time. A lot of information was put out in the media. The Missing Persons Division followed up on that information for approximately 2 weeks. And then it became apparent, due to her lack of communication, her use of social media, that we did believe that she was in danger, and therefore the Homicide Division took over the investigation on Friday, August the 13th. The investigation developed fairly rapidly at that point. We were able to obtain additional evidence to see where she had went in that complex. The information that we'd earlier received kind of led us in the wrong direction. We were able to focus on a particular apartment that does belong to, or is in the leasee's name of Jordan Potts. We were able to obtain significant physical evidence to connect Jordan Potts to that incident.
Oh, by the way, in Australia, they're just like, you know, a country full of conspiracy wackadoodles over there. I mean, the thing is they actually had a helicopter flying around for COVID saying, Get in your houses, get in your houses. I mean, yeah, okay, listen, it's a shitty virus, okay? But don't you think that that's a little too extreme in one direction? Okay, and they also really are slow on the freaking vaccines over there. I mean, everybody else has vaccines. Yeah, I mean, you could have secured vaccines. You have way less people than everybody else, and you should have been all vaccinated by now. The sad part is a lot of people in Australia don't want to be vaccinated because they think there's nanobots and weird shit like that in the actual vaccine. Okay, so it's the educate the people over there a little bit better, and maybe at that point, I mean, it sucks. Okay, I keep hearing various stories, from the Aussies that are in here from the other people. Yeah, I mean, there's responsible ones like you, Lee D, and people with brains like you and the other ones. But then Zozo's told me how conspiratorial everybody is over there, and how they don't believe in vaccines whatsoever, even though they work. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's stupid. Listen, everybody. Guess what? This is a pandemic, everybody. It's a real pandemic. It's very it's overall, the 2%, let's just say a 1% death rate sounds low, but that is ridiculously high. That means if it literally killed 1% of the entire planet, you'd be looking at a number like, let's see, we have 7 billion, so a tenth of that would be 700 million, a tenth of that would be 70 million, that'd be 70 million people. And Delta spreads like no tomorrow. It just goes. Okay, now if you're vaccinated, though, you're protected very well, even though there are breakthrough cases. But it's absolutely worth taking because you get the antibodies built up that fight it, and most people who don't even get sick at all. And then are people that do get sick, but then it protects them. Okay? So I don't know how many times people have to tell you idiots out there that think it's just, well, I'm just saying this right now. I don't think it, here's the thing. I think people are dumb who think it doesn't work. Okay? It does work. Now, if you don't want to take it, that's fine, but don't try to convince one other person not to take it. All right, you understand that part, right? Okay, my opinion is that the vaccine should be mandated and everybody should take it so we can get rid of it. That's what I think. I don't want it to keep mutating within the petri dish of the people that are unvaccinated and into a more deadly version. Okay, that's what I don't want that to happen. So I think it should be mandated, but I'm not in charge of any of that stuff. And just because that's my opinion, it doesn't make me a shitty person. It's weird how that works. I mean, look at Australia, man. If somebody sneezes, they shut down a city. It's crazy. We got to get back to normal again. I know there's people that think I'm nuts listen, I am I don't know what you call me, a conservative or not. I'm just a Republican, and I've always been one. Or as an adult, I never even knew what the hell I was doing. 20 years ago, I was like, who gives a shit, blah, 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 blah. But, the older you get, the more conservative you get generally. Because you start, it's like you're liberal when you're young because you have a heart. And then you're conservative when you're older because you have a brain. Okay, that's normally how it works, but I'm not saying it's always like that. But, there's people that have brains that aren't, conservative. But that's just sort of like a mantra that it pops into my head. Yeah, see, there you go, Cindy Lynn. I wasn't talking about you, but you've heard that statement before, right? Everybody's like, yeah, kumbaya, everybody, let's hold hands, everything will be better. But then later you go, yeah, no, that doesn't work. You really do have to bomb the Taliban into oblivion. You don't get it. You don't hold 500 ISIS fighters, 5,000 ISIS fighters in a prison. What you do is you blow up the entire prison and kill all 5,000 of the ISIS fighters. Does it make sense to let any of them go? I mean, it's just, yeah. Hey, hey, whoa, up. Hey, that shit doesn't work, okay? I don't care how many times you say, hey, Yama, it doesn't fix a damn thing. All right, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, but I feel sorry for people that live in Australia under their strict COVID guidelines. It's just a nightmare, okay? I understand the strictness of it, but at some point, you've got to either get your people vaccinated or let it just burn through your society because you're destroying your country just by doing that over and over and over again.
there is in the.
You know what's weird though is I bet you if you let the virus run rampant on the continent of Australia, it would end up each of the viruses would have a pouch. It's really weird how that works.
Lisi's name of Jordan Potts. We were able to obtain significant physical evidence to connect Jordan Potts to that incident. And he officially became a suspect around August 14th. By Thursday, August 19th.
Right, Chris?
Enough probable cause was established to serve search warrants on his residence as well as his vehicle, where we did gather more evidence. And then.
Yeah, I bet the virus in Australia. I bet the virus in Australia would have a pouch. There we go.
By Friday, August 27th, this past Friday, with the assistance of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, we were able to locate human remains
Reck.
on I-10, just west, probably about 3/4 of a mile west of Brookshire.
That's what I wanted to get. Let me get this one. There we go.
On I-10, just west, probably about 3/4 of a mile west of
My thoughts
Brookshire.
exactly on ISIS and vaccinations. Grey.
Brookshire. Oh, so this was in Boston too. Come on. Just froze up on me here. Now I'm just gotta keep on going with what I'm doing here. Oh wait, okay, that's the right one. Waits. So is there a town called Brookshire? Man, I don't know what's going on, but everything's just really slow on Google Earth right now. How's the stream doing? That doesn't look frozen or anything. I was trying to get the location here. Let me get it off. Take that off. Is there a town called Brookshire out here? I know that they put a map up later. Let me just play it.
On the north side of the service road. We haven't had her scientifically identified yet, but there were enough traits and characteristics of the human remains that we discovered that we are reasonably certain that it is the body of Shawtyeria Waits. Once with that connection and all the probable cause that we were able to develop, we were able to file that murder warrant on Jordan Potts this past Saturday. Again, he is currently wanted. I can't really get into too much of the investigation because it is still an active investigation. We are still working it. The investigators have put in countless amount of hours developing this probable cause, and we still have a lot of work to do. But right now, Jordan Potts is wanted. We're asking the public's help in finding him.
Right here.
Look at this individual. If you see him,
hold on.
If he tries to communicate, and this looks like a pattern with him communicating with females in this hours developing this. On I-10, just west, probably about 3/4 of a mile west of Brookshire, on the north side of the service road. We haven't had her scientifically identified yet, but there were enough traits and characteristics of the human remains that we discovered that we are reasonably certain that it is the body of Shawtyeria Waits. Once with that connection and all the probable cause that we were able to develop, we were able to file that murder warrant on Jordan Potts this past Saturday. Again, he is currently wanted. I can't really get into too much of the investigation because it is still an active investigation. We are still working it. The investigators have put in countless amount of hours developing this probable cause, and we still have a lot of work to do. But right now, Jordan Potts is wanted. We're asking the public's help in finding him. Look at this individual. If you see him, if he tries to communicate, and this looks like a pattern with him communicating with females in this manner.
Wow, so there must be other people that said, "Oh yeah, he got, man, this guy, it's spooky."
So what I'd like to say is be careful who you deal with out there on social media, through dating apps, etc.
But apparently he killed her in his apartment. Let me see if I can find that apartment. Hold on a second. Maybe he's lived there for a while. Let's see. Hell, I don't care anymore. He's been arrested. Well, hold on a second. What's this guy's name? Let me get his name. Let me see if I can find him. Hold on. 1 second here.
The body of a 21-year-old woman who has been missing for a month has been found near Brookshire.
Houston police are now putting out an urgent plea to the community to help locate her killer. ABC 13's Micah Hatfield's now standing by with more on who police are searching for. Mike.
Well, there is still a lot that Houston police investigators couldn't say in this case, but they did tell us that they are looking for 26-year-old Jordan Potts. He is charged with murder in the death of Shawtyeria Waites. Said to be dangerous, Houston police need your help to find this man, Jordan Potts. He's now charged with murder in Harris County, accused of killing Shawtyeria Waites on the night she was thought to have gone missing. July 25th, her 21st birthday. Investigators say they may have met online.
And this looks like a pattern with him communicating with females in this manner. So what I'd like to say is be careful who you deal with out there on social media, through dating apps.
There you go,
Houston police say she was dropped off at the Villages at Meyerland Apartments to meet a man they believe to be Potts. An hour later, a friend couldn't get in touch with her, and she was reported missing 2 days later. The Missing Persons Division worked the case, and eventually homicide investigators, they say she was killed inside an apartment leased to Potts and transported in the trunk of his car. With the help of the FBI, police say they found remains believed to be Waites on the side of I-10 near Brookshire, possibly killed by homicidal violence.
We believe that he may have cut his hair. He doesn't have a vehicle or any means of communication.
5th, her 21st birthday.
Let's see if those are the same
Investigators
apartments.
say they may have met online.
And this looks like a pattern with him communicating with females in this manner. So what I'd like to say is be careful who you deal with out there on social media, through dating apps.
Houston police say she was dropped off at the Villages at Meyerland Apartments to meet a man they believe to be Potts. An hour later, a friend couldn't get in touch with her, and she was reported missing 2 days later. The Missing Persons Division worked the case, and eventually homicide investigators.
It doesn't look... Well, hold on. No, that is the right one. Oh yeah, for sure. Look at these little... And then, see how there's like 2 doors down here? You got like that one, and the windows look just like that. Okay, so he is listed in this apartment complex. Village at Meyerland. And that's where they said it was, right here. Oh, wow, no, he lived in those apartments, I guess. Wow. Wow, so, hey, Zozo, he lived in the same apartments that press conference was at. I know you asked that earlier, so I'm telling you. Wow. What are the odds of that? Yeah, so he lived on that other side, and then he killed her in the apartment, and then drove her, which isn't that far away, just to, let's see, where is that area? Over here. So he drove her from that apartment to some spot right over in this area right there. Yeah, God, that's just bizarre. Man, what are the odds of that? Remember that there was an apartment that was empty that he was going to meet her at too, and there was nothing in it. So he must have known that there was an empty apartment in the building. I like to see the details on this one. This one's a weird case. This guy is got serial killer written all over. If that's like his pattern and he does this and he's killed this one, how many other people has he done this to that we don't know of? You know, they're probably talking to the people that lived. Wow, that's wild. Okay, well, we're all updated on that one. I don't think do we have any more of the press conference? Just a little bit more.
And I really want to offer heartfelt condolences to Shawtyeria Waits' family. This is having your child, your loved one, taken away from you like this.
No, but he was living in that apartment, but there was one that was empty in the apartment complex. Maybe it's the same one. I don't know.
It's unacceptable, and that's where we're at in the investigation. Are there any questions?
Can you give us a little more?
But he apparently killed her in there. Okay, now we got an update. You remember the case that we talked about of, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, of the girl that met a guy online and then she flew all the way out to, she's from Massachusetts and she flew to Phoenix and met this guy that she'd met online, and they went hiking, and she goes, well, why don't you continue on? I'm going to go back to the car. I'll meet you up a little bit later. Okay? So we've got an update on that one. Massachusetts woman died after hiking with a Phoenix cop. Medical examiner said it was an accident.
Tramonte's family told me late today that the state of Arizona has released her body for a flight home for burial services, 4 days after she went there to meet the man of her dreams. Angela Tramonte was
he really a man of your dreams?
Real estate receptionist. Last
Sounds like an
Thursday,
idiot.
She flew to Phoenix to meet a man who she had been communicating with online for 2 months. Friends say he was a police officer. On Friday, they hiked Camelback Mountain near Phoenix in 100-degree heat. EMT say Angela's body was found near a home by the trail and likely died from heat exposure.
Yeah, see, another heat exposure, see?
And this is the most tragic.
See, isn't that weird? So we've got a couple of these other cases this summer related to heat exposure and people just dying seemingly right in the middle of walking around. But this guy's a clown. I mean, they meet there, it's hot outside, and she is obviously not feeling well, but she apparently told him to go up and take the picture so she could say that she was there.
News that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Angela's best friends are now pushing for more information about the police officer she was hiking with and why he wasn't with her when she went back down the mountain.
Ridiculous.
He's a police officer, he's a first responder. If he noticed her in any distress, or she even said,
totally
I don't feel good, or I'm too hot, or I need water, anything, doesn't matter. If she said that she was going back down that mountain, he should have brought her down to make sure that she got down that mountain safely, and he didn't.
If you start as a group, you should end as a group.
Her friends say the couple met on Instagram,
bizarre.
but Angela was very particular.
I mean, you have a woman that flies all the way into your town, and she's really, especially one that's that pretty, right? And they, because if they're ugly, forget it, right? But anyways, you're out there with her, and then she walks all the way down. And you just go like this, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna keep on hiking. Wouldn't you just want to stay with her? I mean, you'd think like he would just be going down there. I mean, I really believe it probably is an accident, right? She died in the heat. Yeah, exactly, Gen B. There you go. See, that's my lizard eye shit right there. Just foot and mouth, because I had to recover from it. First I said, "Bah, especially somebody that pretty." Oh wait, that's not something I should have said. And then I went, "Oh well, even." Oh man, that's why. Listen, I was never good at that shit. Right, at a bar, yeah. I never had the one-liners. Gray.
Gray, you're so mean. Would you just leave somebody there if she wasn't as attractive?
No, Mary Lou, I wouldn't. That's what I said. Yeah. Anyways, how ridiculous, right? The guy, I hope he feels shitty the rest of his life. I mean, here's what's weird about it to me. She flies all the way over there. They obviously like, oh, we gotta meet. Why would you even want to be away for that long from somebody you're just meeting finally? You let her go all the way up there all alone. Hey, thanks, Samantha Presley. So that did it for you, my lizard eye comment. Awesome, thank you. I'm gonna start doing that more. Nah, I don't think there's anything nefarious here. I think that she died of heat exposure. The official report is not ready, authorities said. The finding tracks with what Phoenix police previously said about the death, but he is an officer, so if you're conspiracy minded, you'll think that they're just covering up for their officer. But why would they want to do that? Would you really want to work with a police officer that would nefariously kill somebody? See, that's where people always lose interest in what they're saying. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. According to cops in Arizona, a witness reportedly identified as an off-duty Phoenix police officer said he and Tramonte started their hikes at around 10 a.m. and they did not have any water. Boy, that's genius. Genius. The witness also told officers during the hike, Miss Tramonte decided to head back down the trail and asked him to continue to the top, take pictures, so that... But see, this is what he says. He says that she told him to head... Well, he might be just covering him. Here's what I think happened. They probably got in a little bit of an argument. She's like, you know what? You're an asshole. And she probably left the trail. But his story's different, because he needs to explain why somebody in his position did what he did. The witness also told officers during the hike, Ms. Tramonte decided to head back down the trail and asked him to continue to the top to take pictures so that she could share them on her social media. And then it said the pair agreed to meet later at the car. With no water though, right? So she's going to go back to this car, sit in a car that's probably 150 degrees inside of it. That part, I just think that she goes, I'm going to go. And she's wandered off, and then they found her dead. And he just doesn't want to say that they got in a fight because it makes him look bad. But now he looks great. Oh, he was actually doing her a favor going up there to take these pictures. Yeah. Probably Chrissy. Who knows? Yeah, I think she probably just said, you know what, screw this. At certain, maybe they were
I think he's
talking
just a bad
about
cop.
something.
Bad art, survival skills, and protection.
So I look at reasons why what's more logical. Would a guy who was actually having a great time with a woman, and she goes, you know what, I'm just not feeling quite here. Let me go back to the car. He's going to go, well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head on up to the mountain. I'll see you in an hour or so. Nobody does that. Okay, so something was going, there was a conflict between them, which made him feel like it was okay for him to go to the top of the mountain because he just didn't really care anymore, and screw this, I'm not going to deal with it. Thanks, Brandy Bradford. Yeah, so she never did meet him back at the car. Fire officials said they responded at 1 p.m. for a 911 call about the missing Tramonte. They asked cops, I'd like to know how far the distance was when she turned around to getting back to the car. Investigators finally found Tramonte off the Echo Canyon Trail near a home on the northeast side of the mountain at approximately 4:40 p.m. Phoenix fire personnel responded and found her unresponsive beyond resuscitation efforts, and she was pronounced deceased. No traumatic injuries were observed during the initial investigation. Miss Tramonte's cellular phone was located on her when she was found. Police said they did not find evidence of traumatic injury and said that the off-duty officer was cooperating. Tramonte's friends voiced skepticism, however. They said she was in Arizona to visit the man who she met on Instagram. If anybody knew Angela, she wouldn't go anywhere without a gallon of water in her hand, and I heard she was found without any water. At least one citizen, the officer, for allegedly leaving Tramonte alone. Wait. Said, let's see, according to CBS Boss. At least one citizen, the officer. I don't know, I think that's an error. That's not a sentence. At least one citizen, the officer. Wait, at least one criticized, not citizen. My brain is not working. The officer for allegedly leaving Tramonte alone. Well, of course. Is there anybody out there that doesn't criticize him regardless? Here's a poll. Here we go. Only the trolls will be the ones that say no. Or the contrary version. Let's see. Was it? All right, here we go. No, it's not, Jojo. I still open doors. Not the car door anymore because they just unlock, but I used to always open the car doors. But, you know, if I go to a store, I'll open the door or something like that. But those are all automatic now, too. You get in trouble now. You know, you got these... the women's lib people, if you open the door, they go, "What are you doing? I can open it myself." Oh, sorry. I apologize. Let's just all be robots now. Yeah, so we got some trolls in here tonight because they said no. There's nobody with a right mind would actually... Yeah, that's right. So that's how many trolls we've got. That's how I do the test on trolls. Yeah. Okay, unless you read the question wrong. Okay, I'm just going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Yeah, and then the rest of the trolls heard what I said and had to quickly jump in there. So there's probably around 12 trolls in the chat right now. Okay, how about this one? Only answer this if you answered the poll wrong. Did you answer the poll incorrectly? So only answer this if you did answer it incorrectly. But we'll have a lot more because the trolls will answer it regardless. Here we go. We're narrowing down the trolls. They don't know how I'm doing it, but boy, there's a lot of... And then if you were a troll and answered that one, I didn't say to put no, people. I said to only answer it if you... Oh, my... Okay. Does anybody in here... listen to me, everybody. I'm going to stop the poll again. I'm going to stop the poll here. And then I'm going to start it over again. God. Unreal. How are you guys doing this? Listen up, everybody. Can I remove? Only answer it if you accidentally, you answered incorrectly. Did you answer the poll incorrectly? That's it. I only want people who did answer it incorrectly to answer it. Okay, here we go. So the answer should only be yeses. If there's any no's, you're all trolls who put the no in there. We're not playing any games, KDB. We're just trying to get to the bottom of it. Forget it. I'm just going to end it. I don't have time. Right. So there was a bunch of no's in there. Another 2 or 3 people had to, the trolls had to put the no's in. Oh well. But yeah, we had a lot of people who just couldn't do it right. All right, I'm going to do this out loud, but don't okay, listen. I'm going to do this right now. And not one person type in any of the answers to the questions that I'm answering, okay? See if you can do that. Don't type in anything. Just do it in your head, okay? And but watch, people will have to type it. And I mean it because it's part of it. You can't do it because it'll ruin it for everybody else, okay? So here we go. What is, pick a number in your head. Okay, don't type it in. Between 1 and 9, okay? You got that? Awesome. Now multiply that number by 9. Okay, keep it all in your head, everybody. Keep it all in your head. Multiply that number by 9, all right? Now the remaining number, let's say it's 92. You add the 9 and the 2 together. So add the 2 numbers together that you have left, okay? You got that? You got that, everybody? Awesome. So you just add those 2 together. So so take that number and subtract 5 from it. Okay. All right. Now, whatever number you have left, come up with the corresponding letter of the alphabet. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Right? You got that? All right. Awesome. So let's see. Now pick a country that starts with the letter that you just came up with. All right? Awesome. Great. Now come up with an animal that starts with the last letter in the country's name. An animal. Okay? Now come up with a color that comes up with the last letter in the animal's name. Okay? Do you got that? You guys all following along here? Great. Okay. So just realize this, everybody. There's no orange kangaroos in Denmark. All right. Did that make sense to some people? Did anybody go, wow, that's crazy? There's no orange kangaroos in Denmark. You got it? That's my magic trick for the day. Hopefully a lot of you were following along there. Woo! Thank you, everybody. Well, here's the thing, everybody. If you came up with iguana, you absolutely couldn't do any of the math or anything that we were doing. Yeah, so that just means that One Sly Angel, you weren't doing the math correctly. Anybody that didn't have a country that started with a D didn't even do the math correctly. That's sad. But how many people, put a 1 if you had orange kangaroo in Denmark? Go ahead, put a 1 if you had that. You're the people that actually were able to do the math correctly. Yeah, 9 times 9 is 81. 8 plus 1 is 9. Yep. Yeah, see all these people that did it correctly? So for them it was like, wow! And you know how that joke works is just based on mathematical probabilities. Okay, so the first part of it, let me explain it to you. Nah, that wouldn't. Yeah, that means you did the math incorrectly, Zozo. So here's how it works. You pick a number between 1 and 9, right? No, well, Sarita, that means you did it wrong now. Okay. You pick a number between 1 and 9, right? So let's say you picked a 3, right? 3 times 9 is 27. 2 and the 7 is 9. Every single time you add them together in that equation, it's going to be 9. All right, so some of you came up with 87. All right, 72 would work amazingly with Emily Flotilla if she had picked, what is it, 8? So anyways, pick any of you that screwed up, that didn't have Denmark, tell me what number you picked to start with. Go ahead. Go ahead. So whoever didn't end up with Denmark or a country that started with a D, right, so you had 81, right? So you add the 8 and the 1 together, you come up with 9 every single time. You subtract 5. Yeah, well, how did you get 13, Charles, though? That's impossible. That's impossible. There's nothing times 9 that equals 13. How did you end up with 6, Lori Fisher? There's nothing times 9 that equals 6. I'm going to start crying here in a minute. How is that possible, everybody? It doesn't happen. Do it again in your head. Do it again, everybody. If you pick 2, you multiply it times 9, it's 18. You add the 1 and the 8, it's 9. If you pick 6 times 9, it's 54. The 5 plus 4 is 9, right? It's every time. Okay, then you subtract 5 and you get 4. Okay, and then D. If you say, give me a country that starts with D, almost everybody types in Denmark. There's a few that try to be cute and say, oh, Dubai or some shit. Okay, but nobody does that. It's Denmark. And then you say, well, come up with an animal that starts with the last letter in Denmark. And they go, oh, wow, in that country. I don't say the country. Then they go, oh, kangaroo is almost always first, unless you live in Australia where you say koala every 2 seconds anyway. So maybe you would say that. But in the scenario where it's kangaroo, you would come up with, well, I guess Zozo's math would have been right because she said koala and it would end with an A and then she'd have aqua. So it's kangaroo, and kangaroo ends in O, and the letter, the color is always orange that people would pick. Oh, no, I was going to say olive green, Gray. All right, so listen. I don't know what the deal is with your math situation up here. But people were saying, I got 13. Can you come up with any combination of a number times 9 that equals 13? Let me know immediately. Man, I can't even do a joke. Well, at least it worked on most of you, okay? Try that with your friend. Like, literally just say, hey, do this all in your head. Pick a number between 1 and 9. Yes, now multiply that number times 9. Don't tell me what it is. Now take those two numbers, like if it's 34, add the 3 and the 4 together. You get what I'm saying? Okay, great. Now once you've got those added together, subtract 5 from that, okay? Now take that number and come up with the corresponding letter of the alphabet. A is 1, B 2, that kind of thing. Okay, great. Now come up with a country that starts with that letter. All right. Great. Now take the last letter in that country and come up with an animal. You got it? I do. If they hesitate at all on anything, that means they are not with you, and you have to have them start all over again. If they go, let me see, they go 1, 2, they're counting a long ways, like okay, 5, 6, 7, 10. Just go hey, start over again. Start over. Just call it off really quick, because all these answers are going to be quick. So you go like this. Okay, so come up with an animal. Great. Color, orange. Now, and right after that you say, there's no orange kangaroos in Denmark. And they go, how the hell did you know that? All right, you got it? Excellent. Hope you guys can work on that a little bit, especially those with the math problems. Yeah, well, I hope you do, Charles. You need to stay here a little longer so you can figure out that there's nothing times 9 that equal... Well, I guess that's not true. If you had like 1.34 times 9, that might equal 13. But I didn't say to do fractions, okay? Say Gray! By the way, let me see if that's even close. I think that's going to be right. Let's see. Let's see what the math calculator says on that. My random guess. 1 out of my head. Let's see how close it was. 1.34 times 9 equals. Nah, it was only 12.6. Ah, that sucked. That's right. So let me take another guess. 9 times 1.42. There we go. Oh yeah, how do you do this one? 1.42 times 9. Oops, they stored all the shit from before. Hold on. How do you clear this sucker out? 1.42 times 9. It's getting closer. Getting closer. Yeah. So, man, you're way smarter than us, Charles O. I mean, way smarter. Because you actually went fractional on me. Although I didn't say to do that, did I? I said, pick a number between 1 and 9. I didn't say, well, Gray, how about 1.444 into oblivion? Oh man, that was fun. I'm going to play my... If you missed it earlier, did anybody in here miss the Blue and Chloe video? Anybody in here miss that? Put a 1 if you missed it. And thanks, Steph May, for the math up there. I just took a random guess. I wasn't very good at it. All right, so here we go. Watch how crazy this is. My wife's making sound effects, too. She's the one that... That's her. They have this really weird moment in here.
Community to take immediate action to help prevent unnecessary evictions during this public health emergency. The Attorney General's call to action asks major law firms, law school students, and individual lawyers to work with courts, legal service providers, and nonprofits to pro bono services to ensure access to justice for vulnerable tenants. So far, over 40 major law school deans, including from Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Columbia, Howard, UCLA, and more, have already committed their students in law clinics to help prevent evictions. And presidents of several major legal organizations, including the Legal Services Corporation, the American Bar Association, and the National Housing Law Project, have joined the commitment to immediate action. And on Thursday, we will join a nationwide emergency rental assistance program training held by the Association for Pro Bono Counsel and Law Firm Anti-Racism Alliance. With that, Darlene, why don't you kick us off?
Switching to Afghanistan, as of yesterday, there were about 200 U.S. citizens who wanted to get out of the line. Do you have an update on that number? Are we still looking at 300 ready to get out? Is it down to 150? Is it down to 0?
Absolutely. Well, I know my State Department colleagues will have a more specific, up-to-date number, but let me give you an update of where things stand at this point. Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan considering leaving the country since August 14th, we have thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated.
Look at that, right there, right there.
This number will likely...
What is that right there? See, that's the part I wanted you to see. Yeah, Chloe's nuts, okay? But what is this? What's going on right here? This almost seems like it's human. You get what I'm saying here? Look at that one more time. That is crazy. No, it's not. She's just like hugging him. Blue's the boss. Well, she's kind of the boss, like playing and stuff. But look at that. That's so crazy. It's almost like she was like, hey, listen, we can think and everything, but let's just keep up the ruse of being dogs. And then he goes, oh yeah, you know.
That about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed.
Hey, keep it up, keep it up.
Continue to grow.
Oh yeah.
Continuing, we've been providing, as you know, regular updates to all of you on evacuations. The initial assessment, if we go back to August 14th, was that there were fewer than 6,000 Americans in Afghanistan who wanted to get out. So as we conveyed at the time, we knew that there could be an option. One, that people who had registered had already departed, or that people had registered had not deregistered, or that there would be additional people who came forward. And we believe there are still a small number. I understand you're asking for the exact number who remain. We're trying to determine exactly how many, and we're going through manifest and calling and texting through a list, and we'll have more of a...
Look at Blue's, you gotta admit, Blue's so cute. Look at him. He's just like, he's the best. Yeah, Chloe's nuts. All she does is bite him in the face all day long. It's crazy. All right, so we've got the verdict in the... not the verdict, the sentencing in the Crithian Bahena Revera trial. All right, since we watched the whole thing, this is only 20 minutes long, but we're gonna watch this now. All right, you guys ready?
Case number FECR 01022.
Back to you, Jim.
Represented in this matter today by Poweshiek County Attorney Bart Claver, and with him is Assistant Attorney General Scott Brown. We have present the defendant, Crithian Bahena Revera. Mr. Revera is here today with his attorneys of record, Jennifer and Chad Freeze. Record should also reflect that Mr. Bahena Revera has the assistance of 2 interpreters, and both of them have been sworn in by the court. Preliminary matter before we go any further, it looks like everyone is in compliance with having a mask on, with the exception of the court. Our rules of engagement on that will be please have your mask on unless you're speaking. If you so choose, so that we have a good record, you may remove your mask when you are speaking. Mr. Bahena Revera, the record in this case shows that on the 28th day of May, 2021, the jury found you guilty of murder in the first degree, a Class A felony, in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2, parens 1, parens small a. Today is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Brown, do you know of any legal reason why we should not proceed to sentencing here today?
No, Your Honor.
Do either one of the Freezes know any reason why we should not proceed to sentencing here today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bahena Revera, let me ask you, do you know of any reason why we should not proceed with your sentencing here today?
No.
We'll begin then with the state regarding the matter of sentence and punishment. Mr. Brown, do you have anything you'd like to say and or a victim impact statement?
Judge, it's my understanding that victim impact statements should come after allocution of the defendant. Is that correct?
Sure.
All right. As far as a recommendation on behalf of the state, I know the court is aware that this has been a very long haul in this case. It's been a little bit over 3 years since Mollie was found in August of 2018, and a little bit longer than that when her life was taken by the defendant. The jury here convicted the defendant of the crime of murder in the first degree. As the court is aware, there is no discretion in sentencing. Mr. Bahena Revera is going to be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And I would tell the court that based upon the facts and circumstances of this case, it is very well deserved. The facts and circumstances in this case, as the court knows, you sat through the trial, you know what the evidence is in this case, were overwhelming as it relates to the defendant. And quite honestly, Judge, there's a victim impact statement from the mother of Mollie Tibbetts, Laura Calderwood, that if the court needs any further justification for why that sentence is warranted in the state of Iowa, should look no further than that victim impact statement that she provided to the court that will be read a little bit later. So we would ask that the court impose that mandatory sentence upon...
But you got the math right, Aaron?
The defendant. We would also ask that you order an amount of $150,000 pursuant to Iowa Code Section 903B, since this crime involved the death of Mollie Tibbetts.
You know, one thing I noticed, I think I see Mollie Tibbetts' brother back here, but I didn't see her dad, you know. But based on his political leanings and things he was saying, I would imagine he felt bad for Bahena.
And that the file is quite thick in this case. I don't know if there's been other pecuniary damage statements that have been filed, but if there are, we would ask that you enter an order at that amount. And also, if you can, leave it open an additional 30 days for us to finalize.
Look, I don't want to put barrettes in a dog that I have. That's just too, you know. I like the wild look.
Any other amounts that the court may order as it relates to any pecuniary damages that would be warranted pursuant to statute. So with that, Judge, we would ask that you impose that sentence and, again, indicate to the court that we feel that it's very well justified. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
$150,000. I wonder how long that'll take him to pay that.
Mr. Bahena Revera, anything you wish to say at this time?
Your Honor, given the mandatory nature of the sentence, we have nothing to say.
Thank you.
They're probably like, we just want to get the hell off of this case.
Mr. Bahena Revera, you're not required to say anything to me, but I want to afford you the opportunity. Do you have anything you wish to say to me prior to my announcing what I'm going to do here today?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. His dad was kind of like, you know, I mean, it was just weird. He was making comments almost like he was on this guy's side. So I don't really give a shit about the politics. What I'm saying is I don't understand what her dad was saying. You know, like Mollie, because Mollie apparently was like pro, illegal aliens or whatever. Whatever. I don't really care about that. But once you get killed by one, you would think that dad might be like, yeah, I don't know, man. You know, he got killed. But it's so strange that he just kind of, it's really bizarre. I don't understand that at all. I wonder if he thinks that Mollie may have decided, wow, maybe I should have rethink that a little bit. Like, what's going on here? It doesn't mean that if you're, here's the thing. It doesn't mean if you're an illegal alien that you're a killer. It just means that there might, any time an illegal alien comes into the country and does kill somebody, it's somebody that shouldn't have been here to kill somebody. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if it's 1 in a million, that person shouldn't have been here to kill anybody. So I'm not saying anything about the overall. I mean, I'd say the hardest working people are illegal immigrants. They come over here, and when you get 8 hours of work, like let's say they're doing landscaping or something, it's like 16 hours by anybody else. They do not stop. They just keep working, and work their ass off. Okay, so for those people like that, good for you. What I'm talking, but here's the thing: is you should come to the country in the right way, though, and we should be able to document at least who the hell's here when you come in. It's just this weird sort of free-for-all that we allow. And then all the people that come in this sort of free-for-all, undocumented, illegal, alien situation, any one of those people that kill somebody, they should not have been here. Does anybody disagree with that? That means we'd have one less death for sure if this guy was never allowed to come here. And people go, well, no, she would have been killed by somebody else. Well, how do you know? I mean, give me a break. It's not like there's this allotted, somebody's going to get killed, so therefore it's allotted. Yeah. I think it's just logic, you know. People just don't want to use it. It's all...
With that then,
See, this is what I'm talking about, the heart thing. You know, it's like, you don't have a heart, man. No, I do. I do. I have a heart for the person that got killed. They shouldn't have been here.
I proceed to the victim impact statement.
Judge, we have just one victim impact statement. It's from Laura.
I hope that wasn't... Well, here's the thing is, if that was offensive to you, that means you're dumb. Okay? So I'm sorry.
Calderwood, who is the mother of Mollie Tibbetts. It will be read by Sarah Harms, who is the victim witness coordinator in my office.
And Ms. Harms, you may do whatever you're comfortable with. Keep your mask on, or you may remove it. Again, whatever you're...
So who is this person here? Hold on. What?
Judge, we have just one victim impact statement. It's from Laura Calderwood, who is the mother of Mollie Tibbetts.
Oh, so this is the mother.
By Sarah Harms, who is the victim witness coordinator in my
Okay,
office.
so this is a letter written apparently by the mother.
And Ms. Harms, you may do whatever you're comfortable with. Keep your mask on, or you may remove it. Again, whatever you're most comfortable with. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess the mother and father, or maybe aren't here. I don't know.
Mr. Revera, I come here today not because I feel the need to address you. However, I come here to give a voice to our daughter, granddaughter, sister.
So this is not the mother. It's the victim's advocate lady reading the letter by Mollie's mom.
Girlfriend, niece, cousin, and friend, Mollie Cecilia Tibbetts.
Well, no, it's not LM, because I just said... See, that's the thing, LM. Did you listen to anything I just said? Did you listen to anything I said? See, that's what I'm saying, LM. You always create issues because you're either not listening or you intentionally perceive things incorrectly so that you can type it in. I just said to you a minute ago, it could be 1 in a million. 1 in a million. And I just explained how great hard workers, all this kind of stuff, you should just come in the correct way. I would actually be for having like gates all along the border where if you want to come in and be a migrant worker, you're given a card, maybe you even have to pay $300 or so to come in, get registered, get a card. Maybe that'll help pay for any medical costs if you ever have any when you get here, because they're already paying the coyotes $1,000. So let's say they pay $300 or $500 when they come in, and they don't need the coyotes. They just come to a gate, they get a photograph taken, fingerprint, maybe even a DNA sample. They come in, they get to work, they have a card and everything, and at least we know who they are. If they're going to come in anyways, we know who they are at this point. Okay, it doesn't give them any special rights of any kind. It just means that they can come in and work and we know who's here. Does anybody not think that that's a good idea? That we should actually know who's in our country that's not supposed to be here? I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, but see what I just said up there, LM, is exactly the opposite of what you tried to say. I think if anybody was in here that was an illegal alien and heard what I said, they would have went, oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not that 1 out of the million that's shitty like that.
Mollie was a young woman who simply wanted to go for a quiet run on the evening of July 18th, and you chose to violently and sadistically end that life.
No, I'm not. I didn't read it wrong. You said, the politics that go along with true crime always upset me. Gray isn't wrong, but it's so upsetting for the many good immigrants that come here. You know, it isn't, though. You know, the ones that come here legally, it's not upsetting to them at all. And the ones that come here illegally that are good, it wouldn't upset them at all, what I just said. What I'm saying is the ones that come here that commit crimes shouldn't have been here to commit that crime. And that's just the honest-to-God truth. And that even includes theft, rapes, robbery, anything like that. So even if that's 100 out of a million people, or 200, let's say 200 out of a million, that's a tiny percentage. That's 200 crimes that shouldn't have happened. And I don't know why that just doesn't make sense to people.
Life. I want to address the chain of events you set off on the morning of August 18th after you led authorities to Mollie's remains in a cornfield. Do you know what it's like, Mr. Revera, to be woken up by your youngest son, Scott?
I don't think any of the legal immigrants are stereotyped that way at all. I don't, I mean, are you saying from the same exact country? Like people just assume that they're illegal or something, or what? I mean, people that come from India or other countries, are you just saying that legal immigrants from Mexico might be thrown into a stereotype of illegal immigrants, right? Yeah, I could see that maybe being a problem. So maybe, if you got rid of the illegal portion, then that wouldn't be a problem anymore, right?
Telling you the sheriff needs to talk to us.
Logical. So logical.
Scott and I stood in the entrance of our
Thanks,
home
Cairo.
where sheriffs Tom Kriegel and Matt Mushman stood with tears in their eyes. It took them a minute to find the words to say. We hoped for a different results. However, we found Mollie's remains today. I thank them for their service, and they left because there was still a lot of work to be done. I led Scott, whose eyes were brimming with tears, to the living room and sat him down on the couch. Scott, I said, I am so sorry. I'm going to call Aunt Billy over to the house to be with you because Mom has a lot of work to do.
Why would you deport him? Just listen to the... I don't want to deport anybody that's... If there's a murderer here, I don't want to deport them. Because that means they'll get out over there. Okay? There's no way in hell I would do that. I want them to stay here and have our justice system.
Next,
So of course
I
not.
needed to tell my son Jake. Jake was in his apartment in Iowa City, and I did not want him to hear that his sister was not coming home on the news.
Yeah, well, that's what I try to do all the time, bake cake. Unfortunately, using a rational mind in this day and age with the cancel culture people, it just doesn't work. Because you got to be all on the same page and just believe things that aren't really logical because that's what everybody else wants to believe. The cool people.
Knowing my sister Kim was headed to Iowa City for work, I called her and said, Kim, they found Mollie's remains this morning, and I need you to pick Jake up and bring him home. It was a race against the clock to notify all the people who cared so deeply for Mollie that she was not coming home.
Yeah, this case sucked.
It was very important to notify the people who cared deeply about Mollie so they did not...
Oh, by the way, would you guys hit the like button? Look at this. We got 340 people and 100-something likes. Okay, here we go. What are we at, by the way? 198? That's a joke. Here we go. Let's get that up to 225 minimum.
I'm fired out of it, not
Hit that like button, 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 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40, 45, 50, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
30, 30, now 5.
Oh, we're at 226. Let's do it one more time. Maybe 250. Let's see.
I'm fired out of it, not
hit that like button, 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 hit that like button. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60,
30, 25, 30. You want to 30, sir. 25,
hit that like button.
30, 30, now 5. I'm 35.
All right.
They're coming to take me away.
I hear this on the news.
Thank you.
Imagine what it's like to call Mollie's father, Rob, who resides in Fresno, California,
That's right.
and say,
Fresno.
Rob, I am so sorry to have to tell you this, but they found Mollie's remains this morning, and I need you to come back to Iowa. Can you imagine, Mr. Revera, as a father, having Paulina's mother taken away from you and to have to tell your daughter that she will never come home? However, the most difficult person to tell was Mollie's grandmother and my mother, Judy Calderwood. Judy truly believed her granddaughter would be found alive, because who could harm such a beautiful, vibrant young woman?
Well, these two guys that were in my house when I was taking a shower.
Who could harm Judy's precious granddaughter, let alone brutally murder her and dump her body in a cornfield? This was heartbreaking news that needed to be delivered in person. I entered my mother's home and she greeted me with a big smile and asked if I wanted a cup of coffee. There certainly was no easy way to tell her the news. However, it had to be done before her phone started ringing with loved ones sending their condolences. I very quietly and softly said, "Mom, I have some bad news. They found Mollie's body this morning, but we know where she is now." Judy Calderwood's unwavering faith had been brutally shattered by your senseless act of violence. Can you imagine, Mr. Revera, sitting across the table from your madre and telling her Paulina is never coming home? I am aware that you know Ulysses Felix Sandoval and his family. Yuli, as I call him, was a classmate and a friend of my son Scott. Do you know Yuli was at the press conference where authorities announced that you, Crithian Bahena Revera, had been charged with the murder of Mollie Tibbetts? Yuli immediately started crying, but knew that he needed to call his madre before she heard it on the news. The Felix Sandoval family was devastated. How could this young man they fed and fostered be responsible for such a heinous crime? Do you know, Mr. Revera, that Yuli's parents had to leave Brooklyn because they were receiving death threats? Do you know Yuli lived in our home for his last year of high school so he could finish his senior year and play sports? However, Yuli's parents did not get to experience his senior year with him because of your senseless act. Because of your act, your then employer, Craig Lane, lost all his employees because those workers were afraid of what would happen to them. Because of your act,
Cairo,
Dalton Jack will never get to give Mollie the engagement ring he had purchased for her. Because of your act, Mollie's father, Rob, will never get to walk his only daughter down the aisle. Because of your act, Mr. Revera, I will never get to see my daughter become a mother. I do hope one day Paulina has the opportunity to become a mother, but how will she ever explain to her children who their grandfather is? This is the legacy you left behind for your only child, Mr. Revera. I don't know whose situation is worse.
Thank you. Mr. Bryan, let me just confirm for the record then that is the only victim impact statement.
That is the only victim impact statement, Judge. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
That's weird too. It's like one statement.
Based on the jury's guilty verdict entered on the 28th day of May, 2021, it is the finding of this court that the defendant is guilty and is now ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the defendant is guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.2, parens 1, parens small a. Mr. Bahena Revera, I want to inform you that I've considered all the sentencing options provided for in chapters 901 and 907 of the Iowa Code, and my judgment relative to the sentence is based on that which will provide maximum opportunity for your rehabilitation, at the same time protect the community from further offenses by you and others. Mr. Bahena Revera, you and you alone forever changed the lives of those who loved Mollie Tibbetts. And for that, you and you alone will receive the following sentence. It is the order and judgment of this court, acting pursuant to the provisions of Section 902 of the Code of Iowa, that the defendant be is hereby committed to the custody of Iowa Department of Corrections for a lifetime sentence with no eligibility for parole. It is further ordered that the Iowa Medical and Rehabilitation Center in Oakdale, Iowa is designated as the reception center to which the defendant is to be delivered by the Sheriff of Powashik
Can't get out.
County
He's
or
done.
his designee.
Goodbye.
The court further orders as follows. The defendant shall pay
He's going to appeal, though.
$150,000 to the heirs at law of Mollie Tibbetts.
When I was going to pay the $150,000.
Pursuant to Iowa Code
Don't they make like a nickel a day?
You are required to submit a DNA sample pursuant to the request of the state. The state is given 30 days from today's
Mollie's dad will probably be sending him some
to file
commissary.
any restitution statements or clarify any that have been filed. And once that is filed, should there be any, the defense will then have 15 days to file any objections, again, should there be any.
Yeah.
Mr. Bahena Revera,
Every 20 days it's a buck.
This particular sentence for you after considering the nature of the offense committed by you, the harm to the victim and the victim's family, your need for rehabilitation, and the necessity for protecting the community from further offenses by you and others. I'm going to
Mexico, though, would let him
here
out
to
at some
submit
point.
to Mr. Bahena Revera's appeal rights. But before we do that, Mr. Brown, I believe on behalf of the state, you had an area you wanted to clarify for the record.
No, you're not right.
For whatever reason, there were
they
several
let him out,
exhibits
so
that did
it'd be
not
better
make
for
it
him to be in
court
Mexico.
Following trial,
Trust
there are
me.
all the video clips that we utilized at trial that the court admitted. I've shown those video clips to the defense to verify that those were the actual exhibits that were admitted. They are exhibits 11, 13, 14, 16, 18, and 20. We have provided those to the court on a separate flash drive, which we gave your court reporter this afternoon. Again, we did verify that with, I believe it was Ms. Freeze that confirmed that with us last week. But just to make sure the record's clear and that we have all the exhibits that will go up with this case on appeal, we wanted to make sure we verified all of that for the record.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Freeze, any concerns or qualms with what Mr.
we have
Brown has
a question we
represented?
were gonna.
No, that's what we did. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, again, anything else we need to address for the record?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bahena Revera, as the defendant in this case, you are advised you have the right to appeal your conviction and the judgment just rendered against you to the Iowa Supreme Court. And if such an appeal is taken and you are financially unable to pay the costs thereof, you have the further right to apply to this court for the appointment of counsel, the furnishing of transcripts of the proceedings had in this court, and the printing of the record and necessary briefs on your behalf into such an appeal, all at the expense of the state of Iowa. You are further advised you've
Yeah, I'm not a believer in rehabilitation. I'm a believer in their ability to trick you so that you believe they've been rehabilitated. I believe in that.
desire to take such an appeal to the Iowa Supreme Court, you or your attorney must within 30 days.
And the thing is that means that Dahmer could be rehabilitated, right? You know, we could maybe teach him not to want to eat somebody's head or other body parts, or we could teach him those kinds of things. And he did say that he's starting to read a Bible. You know, when he was still alive, he said, "Yeah, I'm really getting back into this religion thing." Yeah. Well, hell, we should just let him out then, you know?
Days from today's date, serve the written notice of the taking of such a appeal upon the county attorney of this county, and file the same with the Powashik County Clerk of Court, together with evidence of such service upon the county attorney, and you must promptly mail or deliver an informational copy to the Iowa Attorney General.
Shell speed, that's the thing, right?
The service and the filing of a written notice of appeal in time and manner is specified as jurisdictional, and a failure to comply with such requirements should...
You know what would have been funny, Gen H, if you had typed in, "It's a bite late." I thought that's what you wrote. I was about to woo, but yeah.
Shall be deemed a voluntary waiver of your right to an appeal. With that, then, judgment accordingly, minimus accordingly, no bond on appeal, and with that, Mr. Bahena Revera, you shall go without day, and we will close the record.
Yeah. There ain't a lot of changing going on. I mean, obviously there's some cases where, you know, that it's the barbaric killers like this. These types right here, they're not rehabilitatable. Okay, it's the serial killer like people. Like this guy right here, what he did to Mollie Tibbetts is what a serial killer might do. Follow somebody out on a road. It could have been his first one. If he'd gotten away with that one, he might have done it somewhere else again at another time. We don't know. But that kind of mental thinking that, yeah, let me see. Well, she rebuffed what I said, so I'm going to kill her, put it in my trunk of my car, and then he assaulted her in the cornfield. I bet she was still alive in that trunk, and he killed her later. Either that or it was necrophilia, and that means this guy is an absolute psycho. He has no angle out of it being a psycho. He's either a psycho who brought her to a cornfield, raped her, then killed her, or she was dead in the trunk of the car and he raped a dead body, which seems like that might even be what he did. And he's an absolute psycho, okay? And then he lied about it. Well, he told the truth first, and then he lied later. Well, I took a shower, and there's these two guys just sitting there, and just kind of hanging out. They had me drive somewhere, and we drove by this really hot girl. And then they stopped the car, and they went out in front of the car, and I closed my eyes for a minute. They came back, and something got put in the trunk. Then they had me drive out to a cornfield. They got out of the car and left. And lo and behold, I looked down and I saw some earbuds in my lap, and just so happens I thought to myself, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's a dead jogger in the back of that, in the trunk there. Yeah, he made a lot of sense. Now, there's a lot of people like that. Almost all killers like this have something wrong with them. Yeah, but if you have a woman that's in prison for shooting their husband after years of abuse, I'm not going to go, wow, they can't be put back out there. I just, maybe not get married again or something like that, or even date anybody. It's the psychos, like John Miller or the East Area Rapist guy. There isn't any, well, if we just get him into enough sessions, we can get through this. And he can be a productive member of society yet again. Yeah, no thanks. But it's a great thing to be a killer in Canada. In Canada, you can chop somebody's head off. Just a regular old Joe listening to music on a bus. You can cut his head off, carry the head to the front of the bus, and hold it up to all the other passengers who escaped with their lives. And within 5 years, you're out walking the streets again. It's awesome. Because, boy, that rehab, it really just kicks right in. Or a little bit of meds that you might be able to take. Yeah. So anyways, there you go, everybody. Awesome. Yeah. I don't even have much more to do. I don't even know if I have much else to go on here. But if you missed the beginning of the show, I discussed how on the interview room with Chris McDonough, he put out images that he didn't verify first, but said, if these are fake, whoever put these out are sick. But I'm going to show them to you anyways, because this might mean that Summer was abused and beaten in the face. Okay? And they were completely bogus. Like right after the show, you know that they're bogus because the actual photos are out there. And people are just okay with that.
Thank you for covering so many cases tonight. Updates, introspection and discussion. Thank you.
Thanks, LM. Yeah. I think it's really a discredit to the entire true crime genre for somebody of that notoriety in sort of newcomer to the YouTube true crime community, with all this detective background and all this kind of stuff, and you're gonna do shoddy shit work like that. God, give me a break. Man, I think it's disgusting, and I don't mind saying it like that either, right? It's the honest to God truth. If I ever did something like that, I would expect somebody to say the same thing. The difference is I would, in shame, if I accidentally did that, would be deleting the video. Thanks, Chrissy. Could almost say his eyes are lizard-like this evening. What? Lizard? The evening's lizard? Yeah, so for those of you who missed it, let me show you this
Could
again.
almost say his eyes are lizard-like this evening.
Is that a song? Yeah, but knowing him, what he likes to do, when somebody calls him out on something, he's so above reproach, so much better than everybody, that what he does is he goes on the offensive and tries to get everybody else to hate you. Okay? I don't care what he does. Okay? I mean, that's the thing is, I don't really care, but what he did on that video was despicable. And very, there was no, and everybody, I think you should, hopefully you all agree with what I'm saying here. That the way he did that was very unethical. It was, there's just no way around it, you guys. No way around it. That's all you can say. I can't. So here's the original image right here. I'll put it up on the screen again. That's the original image. A picture. She's holding some plastic here. That's it. Nothing. There's nothing in there. Look at it. Oh my God, there's bruising over. No, that's just shading. Yeah. Over here. Nope, there's just tint. Like you take a photo, it looks like that. Who would take if her face was all bruised up, would you be taking pictures of it with her smiling? No. Okay. And then this picture here, which is either taken right at the same time or within moments, as you can see right here, the blue triangle right there, and then that little black line right there. And this plastic bag here, however, was photoshopped either out of it, or maybe it's another photo that was taken literally within a half second of that photo. I don't know. Okay, but it's right at that time because you got that exact shape is in the picture, and everything's the same. Even the hair, see that little triangle darkness right there? It's right there, except in this one it doesn't have the extreme contrast built into it. They didn't sit there and make it really contrasty to make these any sort of darkness absolutely pop out like, oh my God, look at that. And they did the same thing, these couple YouTubers out there, with the milk jug images. And they put those out there, and he thinks those are real too. Well, but he did throw this out there. If you're the one, if you made this and it's not real, you should be kicked off of YouTube. Well, how about being kicked off of YouTube for playing it out of the possibility that it is real? Okay, because that's what you're doing. It's like, you're going to get mad at the guy if it's not real, but you're playing it anyways? Yeah, no. That's just absolutely irrational. Not good. Not good. Man, it made me so angry. And not only that, I've already debunked the other image that looked similar that was done in the vehicle. You remember that? I don't know what folder I have all that in or anything. Let's see. Actually, I think I might see it. I think I might have seen it right there. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. This is the one they were looking at. Right there. See that big hematoma on the side of the head here? Look at that. Oh my God. She must have just been smashed in the head, they say. And this is the same one he was referring to on that same show, right? But look, this is the image it's from. It's right here. That's not what's going on here. See, you zoom in on it. I mean, I don't want to, it sucks having to put Summer's face up on the screen. But see that right there? That's what, and it's over here too. It's just sort of the shading or whatever it is. It's nothing. But if you sit there and you turn on the contrast over and over again and you really make this dark, then it starts looking bad. Look at the difference there. It's just hideous what they would do with that. Anyways, man, I hope you guys, when you go over there and you watch that kind of stuff, you should say something. All of you, every single one of you, you need to say something. You shouldn't let it just be in existence. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. And I mean, he should just be ashamed. Either that, or he should remove the video, or at least all the parts where he tried to claim that those images might indicate abuse going on, because none of those indicate anything of the such. Now, whether or not he abused her on other times or whatever, those images don't indicate that at all. Yeah, okay. Anyways. Alright, you guys, I think that's going to do it. Maybe make it a little shorter night tonight. Tomorrow's donation night, so we'll be coming on and hopefully we can donate another $1,500. We've already done $2,000. That would get us up to $3,500. The donation nights where we just kind of try to get over the hump so that it makes sense mathematically. Because I get taxed too, so it's the net income. I donate 40 to 50%. Yeah. Well, you don't have to quit YouTube because you're on this channel, right, Amber? We're not unethical over here. So just don't watch the unethical ones. That's the part that's weird. You don't need to be watching them. What does that have to do with anything, Jameen? I've never seen rotten teeth. All of the stuff that you see that people put out like that are usually bogus. They try to make things look really bad. Yeah, like every third month, the entire income almost goes to paying the taxes for all 3 months together. That's what sucks, because it's like 28. I have state and federal. In my state, I have state taxes and federal. So I usually do 20 federal, 8 state, and try to. That's usually pretty good at the end of the year.
What do you
say Gray's mean all the time, gee.
Come on, Mary Lou. I'm not always mean.
See, Gray, look.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's weird. I guess I am mean. But how come I have 4 arms?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, why do you have those extra arms there?
You know what I just realized? Why don't I make Mary Lou and I can pop her in right there? That'd be hilarious. I could just pop Mary Lou right on my face. Hey, that's perfect. So I got to figure out Mary Lou at some point, and then I'll just do the same thing, and then it could be Mary Lou talking. Yes.
What do you mean, Gray? Why do you need to make a face? I'm right here.
Well, nobody can see you. You're just digital.
What do you mean I'm just digital?
Well, have you ever seen yourself in a mirror?
No, I have not.
Why not?
Because I'm digital.
Well, you just answered your own question. Yep. The resemblance is uncanny. Thanks, Beholder. Yeah, I do too. I think Mary Lou looks a bit like Zozo, though, you know? Same sort of irritating attitude. You know what I mean? Just... Wait, am I in jail? So, you guys have any questions for me? I'm not doing anything right this minute. Any questions? You still out there, Steph May? Or are you on one of your trains going 80 miles an hour down a mountain track somewhere? Just... I think it'd be fun to be in the snow in the winter when it's snowing. Be on one of those. Seems like it'd be... It's always loud, but I bet it's kind of peaceful too, you know. I don't know. I'm not. Who's talking about teeth, anyways? I just, you know, a lot of weird stuff that people talk about. Yeah, I changed the ordering of all of them. I don't know why. But don't you like having the freak heart next to you? I don't think so. I think it's almost impossible to commit the perfect crime. I'll tell you one thing though, if I was a killer or somebody, I wouldn't just throw the gun in a creek or something. I would probably turn off my cell phone somewhere. Just turn it off completely, and then either walk somewhere or take a bus. Not a bus. Walk somewhere or a car that's older, and then I would dig a hole about 10 feet deep. That's about the width of a baseball bat. Maybe not 10 feet, but like with one of those post diggers. And then I'd throw the gun at the bottom of that. Then I'd fill it up with dirt, pack it in, and then put some shrubbery over the top. And there isn't a soul that would ever find that thing. Okay? But instead they just go, oh, hey, here's a good plan. Let me throw my cell phone in the... You probably didn't hear what I was saying, this account. You missed it again. Let's see. Yeah, you can't sit at a bar and start yapping about it. We got some diabolical people in here. Oh, use an icicle. No prints. Yeah, that's been in some movies. No, it wouldn't. I hate chocolate. I'm saying you put it down 10 feet in a little tiny hole that's this big around. Nobody in the hell's ever going to step on. It'd be 1 in a trillion, so you're wrong. One thing I think is funny, you got these magnet fishermen with the big magnets, and they throw them in the creeks, and they pull metallic objects out, and they find guns all the time. And when the police show up, they go, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll take that one. Hey, officer, listen to me very carefully. Every single, and I mean every single gun that a magnet detector or diver finds in water is most likely been used, I mean, not even most likely, every single one has been used in a crime of some sort. There's no way in hell somebody just drives around and goes, yeah, I don't like my gun anymore. It was used for something. That's why it's in the water there. Be more interested in it. Can you come up with a really good reason why there'd be any gun at all under a bridge or in a river? That's not where they're supposed to be, right? Especially pistols. Yeah. But they're always so mundane when they... Oh, really? Okay, yeah. No. It didn't fall out of a kayak. No. So let's see, he just happened to have his gun sitting out on it. Why, I mean, how many people take their guns on a kayak? Well, I do, Gray. I go kayaking at Yellowstone, and there's grizzly bears over there. Okay. Good for you. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Of course. I want to buy one of those awesome, you know the kayaks that you have the pedals on them? They're the really good ones, though. They cost like $5,000, but you can pedal on them. I could have bought 10 of those with our with the Freak Family donations. They're really cool. I forgot what they're called. Let me see the pedal. Is it this one? No. Forgot the name of the... Yeah, Hobie or Hobie or something like that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, look, these things right here are awesome. Look at these. And they have these little pedal drives that you put here. You can put your poles in there. You can put in fish finders. They can go like 10 miles an hour. They're amazing. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Look at. Hey, I figured out, Sarita. I got it. Yeah, look at these. They're crazy.
We've just finished completely.
That's a pedal
is
kayak.
That it allows me to fish side as well as all the recessed decking. That's going to give me some traction.
That looks like
a
about
lot more comfort
the most
stealth
comfortable thing I've ever seen. Hobie Mirage.
Excellent.
Look at that.
That is where it really, really shines to me, is the chance of really any water. It's 11 feet long. It's 36 inches. Here you can see I'm picking up speed.
See, look at he's pedaling that thing. Look how fun that would be.
Behind the kayak.
Look at this. That's freaking amazing.
You do like some wakeboarding.
Are you kidding me?
Top speed on this kayak was 5 miles an hour, which is comparable to some of their other kayaks, and it uses standard.
Look how cool that looks. Look at that. Boom, boom.
Design.
And if you go over a log, they kick up like
This
that.
is faster than anything else I've been. And the acceleration is excellent.
Not to mention, with turbo fins, it's even faster.
An optional add-on accessory, and
Look
it's
at
made
that.
by a third party.
Yeah, you can
called
put a
Bixby,
motor in
which
them.
I'll have linked in the video description.
It's crazy.
I have one of
Look
these,
at it.
and they are awesome. It has 12 speeds. You can get up to 10 hours of runtime. The battery floats, and it's just so cool. So Jeff and I were talking here. So he does rentals, and these sick paddle boards here are, in his opinion, is a commercial.
Yeah, man. Tell me that doesn't look like just awesome.
And nearly every fishable destination in between. Hobie's initial Mirage Drive, the ingenious fin propulsion system that's easier to pedal than a stair-stepper exerciser, revolutionized kayak fishing as it freed the kayaker's hands.
You put it in
dedicated
reverse and
fishing
forward.
instead of paddling. Mirage Drive technology also took advantage of the large muscles of the legs to go farther and faster, as opposed to the limitation of the arms. Since that introduction in 1997, there have been many fish and manipulated to full-on power moves to keep you ideally positioned for.
Anyways, I gotta get one of those before I get too old. I think those are freaking amazing. Yeah, they just look so great. Yeah. Alright. So anyways, I think I'm ending the show here in a minute, so...
Thank you to Jess Trombley right off the get-go. Rita Schaefer, actually Jess Trombley with a double. Rita Schaefer, Allie Cake, Cassandra Morris, Sooner History, Randy Bradford, Sandy Lee G, Connie Lee, Kit Kat, or Kit, just Kit, Angela Vincent, Mabel Quintanilla, Emily Flotilla Cat Eye, Atticor 21, Stop it right now, Nicole Wilson, Cat Eye, Chrissy, Steph May Double Cat Eye, Chrissy, Steph May another Double Cat Eye, Randy Bradford, Denise, not Dennis Smith, Living It, Chrissy, LM as in Element Open, P&K Reck, Samantha Presley became a member, welcome, Chrissy, Randy Bradford, LM, Cairo, LM, Chrissy, Cairo, and Chrissy.
And there you go. Hey, thank you, Jen Richards, right at the end. I know, doesn't that just look amazing though? You gotta admit, like, those look so incredible, those kayaks. You just pedal them around, you can go reverse, turn around in a really tight area. You can sneak into anywhere you want to go. I mean, I think we're gonna get one of these. And my little carport has enough space where I think I can pull in
Take
and then
it on the wheel limit.
hoist
Damn
it up, and then it's just there until I want to put it back on top of the... So maybe, I don't know, it might just be something to do, and then I can make little videos fishing. I mean, when I guess I'd have to fish during the daytime or do shows earlier or something on a day I want to go fishing or something. But doesn't that look fun? Yeah, I've always wanted to do fishing videos. Remember on last night I was telling you guys about that bass that chased the guy who's doing top water? Let me show you this thing. It's crazy. This thing is the craziest thing in the world. And this is I watch this. I'm a subscriber to this guy's channel. It's just the craziest thing in the world. A Bama bass. Look at it. Look at this thing. Here, just watch this thing. So he's got it cast out over here, and then he's kind of gets tired of it, so he's twitching a frog on the surface over there. Let me just go like this. And see it right there? Watch. So he's like, ah, shit. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Let me just roll. Holy shit! I mean, that was like the biggest. Look at that again. I mean, it's crazy. Look at this thing. Watch. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me cast again. Oh, and then he like finally gets in, and then he's like, "Holy crap!" Listen to him. He can barely talk.
Gave me a heart attack.
Almost got a heart attack.
That's got to be the wildest thing I've ever seen.
It is the wildest thing you've ever
Man,
seen.
you hit it right.
That is the wildest thing you've ever seen.
Scared me to death.
Here, just see that one more time. Here it is. Yeah. Let me reel that in. I'm gonna do another cat. Oh my god. Anyways, unreal, right? That guy. I couldn't believe it. He couldn't even breathe for like a couple minutes in there. And then there's this other guy. He had one. It's so awesome. Let me see if I can find this one. Yeah, this one. This guy's great too. He's got a huge channel called Lake Fork Guy. This guy, he had brain cancer. He's kind of recovered from it. But man, it's just such incredible. He's trying to catch, when he finally gets over to this one spot, he can see this. This guy's got 1 million subscribers. This video has almost 2 million views on here. He can see this massive fish over here.
Go.
And he's actually has like the 6-pounder on, but he keeps knocking it off because he sees a bigger fish.
Because there is a absolute hammer dong, and she is moving up now. Y'all, this is insane. My heart is pounding. I'm shaking because this fish is so big. I'm locking down the rest of the day, clearing the schedule for this fish.
And he tries different things. Puppies. He tries it and he goes, yeah, that's not going to work.
Too skittish. God, he's got it again.
So a male has it, and he keeps knocking him off.
Let go. He's eating it like every time.
He's doing some crazy little technique there.
He's staying there.
So he's going to try this other one.
See if something big will get her.
He casts it out and he goes, nah.
Get her a little fired up here. Did not.
Yeah, no, didn't get fired up. So he's back with this one. No, listen to music. Listen to music. Hear the music?
I think that's hurt. That is hurt. It's a giant. It's a giant.
Look, can you hear how tight that line is? That line is just, oh god.
It's a giant. Oh my god, look at the power. Oh god, this fish is huge. This is an absolute heathen.
I like how he words things.
Oh my gosh.
It's an absolute hammer dog. It's a
oh god, she picked up my jig with the bandito bug. Oh,
he's even doing product recognition.
God,
my bandito bug with an
absolute mammoth.
Yeah,
mammoth.
And it was with my signature rod too.
Baby.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Look at this thing.
That is a freaking toad, baby. Oh my gosh. That jig and bandito bug. Natural color.
See?
Absolute.
Jig and bandito bug.
Freaking
Natural color.
Put you in here for a second, honey.
He always like sniffs his fish too. He's really weird.
Oh my God. I'm shaking.
Look at him. Look at him.
I'm shaking. Oh my gosh, that's one of my
I love
biggest
this video
sight
here.
fish
It's like the best I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the male had it 5 or 6 times. I let him go. Finally she grabbed. I couldn't tell which one. I was trying to stay so far away. And then as soon as I saw like the gorilla shadow with my line moving, I went, and you guys saw the hook set. It was like I didn't even move her. Just an absolute heathen baby. But I think it's still over 8. It's so fat.
He thinks it's over 8, he thinks.
You can usually tell when they take up the entire live well what's going on. She's just a fat forward. You don't see that?
10.5. 10 pounder suckers. Look at that thing. That's huge.
What's it mounting to? This is 10.5. Locked at 10.5. Oh, I was right. That is a double-digit bass, baby. Boom! Yes.
Boom chakalaka. Oh yeah. So we had that one, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, the Never Stop Tour. This one's hilarious. This guy's John B. I watch this guy all the time. He's got 1.64 million. They're fishing all day, trying to catch some fish. There's a huge fish. You can see it on the...
Just barely.
But this guy right here, he finally figures it out. Watch this, watch. Ooh! He's like, oh shit. He had it, yeah.
I got this style.
Watch how funny this is. Watch this one.
What?
Watch what he does here. He can see it already take it. He's like, oh shit. Ooh. Look what he gets tangled up with the poles and everything. He doesn't give a shit.
Welcome to the Never Stop Tour too.
See, there's where the Never Stop Tour came from, not that YouTube channel.
It's my biggest basketball like you. 100%. That's a 10. Hopefully this guy's got a scale, dude. Holy cow. That's an 8-9.
You! Huh? That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I remember Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and Jimmy Houston.
But
oh yeah, here's another one.
Easy.
This one's crazy too. Watch this one.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he came off, dude.
Yeah.
Is it?
We're getting like 5 more minutes since we're right by the door.
Yeah. Oh.
So he's got another one on here. Well, let me see who hits it. Now look how big this sucker is. It was on a frog late at night.
Is it recording?
Look at that. Look at that thing.
Damn, check that
11
out.
pounds, Mo. Oh my god, and it sucked it all the way in.
Holy shit.
Hey, let me get my scale out real quick.
Yeah. Where's the other one? So this is bass. No, that was the... I got one more. Yeah, bass of a lifetime. Is that it? Oh yeah, this is the Pig Patrol. I watch this guy all the time. Watch how crazy this is.
With that wind blowing in there, it's not aggressive.
This guy just finally got over...
Deep water, and I'm just pulling this.
He quit his regular job now. He only fishes. He's got 251. There it is. Now the music's gonna stop.
Oh, that was so cool. That's the most aggressive.
So here we go. See the music starting to pick up that same music? They all use that same one. The little slow hum. There it is.
Oh my.
Oh man. Do you see that shit? It just grabbed onto that thing.
Oh, that was insane. That was insane. That was insane. Dude.
Just look at when that thing hits. He's just pulling it back slow.
It's insane.
Here. See, watch what the rod does when it hits it. It just kills it. Watch this. Watch. See, he's got a dirt. Oh, boom! Oh my god.
Guys, we hooked a giant. Oh, that was insane. That was insane. That was insane. Dude.
Yeah, and then he gets it in eventually. Look at that.
I got no words. I got no words.
Look how fat that thing is.
Oh my.
Second or the biggest bass in my life. It's not the biggest bass I've ever got.
Anyways, I have fun watching those. I've just stored the ones that are epic like that. So, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So, alright you guys, that's going to be it for the show tonight. I got to get myself one of those kayaks though, so maybe I can catch a couple. It's unreal. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out at the end there, doing some random stuff. We will see you guys tomorrow on donation night. Alright. Okay, so see you guys tomorrow, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And thank you all the mods for all you do, keeping everything in check. You guys are the best. And thanks, Chrissy. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you later.
When I'm in the mood, I spend control of my food, but I don't eat it. I chew it up and spit it out and repeat it. It's not a treat, the troll is beat. Just one of the ways that I defeat it. If we're playing in the groove, when there's a troll on the move, just takes a second to remove, 'cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose. Nice try, Wizard Eye. I see you creeping down the slide. Why you think you're so fly? You're such a whiny cry. Follow me, you're gonna fly. Gonna send them off to lullaby. Time to say goodbye. Hey Timmy, that was pretty good that time. You seem like you got a little bit of emotion. I was just trying to imitate you. Oh, thanks. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher, eating drunk, running like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. My friend Real's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. I'm always gonna be a puppet protector. Rule reflector, interceptor. In a little reflector, another vector. On his spectre, with all his spectre. Older. My name is Beholder. Got a cat on my shoulder. I ain't get no older. My name is Beholder. What's an outro, everybody?
Well, an outro is something you play at the end of the show, but ours is random every time. So it's not really an outro per se, it's just the show at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, okay, I get it. Like if it was pre-recorded or something.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you whistling at?
Well, you just kept going and going and going.
Gee, Gray, you're so mean to me.
What the hell was that?
Right, stop. Collaborate and listen. As I back with this brand new invention, something. Grab a hold of me tightly, flows like a harpoon, daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow to the extreme. I'm at the mic like a vandal, light up the stage. I'm at the choke like a candle, dance. Feel the speakers a boom, feel it in your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, leave it, better gain weight, better hit goals that a kid don't play. If there was a problem, go I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolves it. Now that the party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the Vegas are pumping. Quick to the point, cause the point no faking. Cooking MCs like a pound of bacon. Burning them, you ain't quick and nimble. I go crazy when I hear the cymbal with a hi-hat, with a souped up tempo. I'm on a roll, time to go solo, rolling. In my 5.0 with a rag top bounce and my hair can blow. The girl is on standby, waiting just to say hi. Did she stop? Oh, just strolled on, kept on. Goes to the next stop. I'm on the left, I'm headed to the next block. Walk a good y'all, suck a dinner to A1A, Detroit Avenue. Girls were hot, wearing lusty bikinis, rock their logos, and a Lamborghini. Jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. She was a gauge and another was a 9. Gunshots, ranged out like a battle. I got a 9 under her with shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in the car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, avenues packed. Having your day from the tractor's jack. Police wanna see, you know what I mean? Coffee up, confirmed all the dope beans. If there was a problem, go I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolve it.
Wow, Mary Lou, you had a lot of energy on that one.
Yeah, I've had some steroids today.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, that's right. I'm cooking MCs like a pound of bacon. I'm not making them. I'm not making them, pound of bacon them. Hughes. I'm a Liverpool poet, man, is on the team, just in case you didn't know it. My town, the Caribbean on the bass sound. Love shit, get coals in the ground, cause my style's like a chemical spill. Feature magic and vision and feel. Conducting and film is just a hell of a concept. You make a hype? And anyone is too princess, say plays on a face, slice like a ninja, cut like a razor blade so fast. Or did you just say, damn, if I rhyme to a drug, I sell it by the gram. I keep on composing while it's time to get loose, magnetized by the mic while I kick my juice. If there was a problem, well, I'll solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ revolves it. Yes, I was using vanilla ice to cover up a murder. Alright, everybody, thank you so much.
Hey, do you mind if I say thank you? You're just Mary Lou.
What do you mean, just Mary Lou? Everybody loves me, Gray. G.
How come you emphasize G so much?
Because I know you hate it, so I did it that way.
That's what I thought, see? At least you're honest, okay? I'll give you some points for that. I'll keep you around for being honest.
Okay, great, thanks.
Wow, what a weirdo. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, be safe out there. Oh, yeah, by the way, we have we're going to be doing a So Mean Allegedly channel show sometime earlier in the day tomorrow. So be sure to catch that. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe out there.
Be safe out there.